99-cent rental.
This is 99 Cent Rental. I'm your host, Brian White, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Dave White. Hey, Dave, how you doing over there?
Oh, hi. Thank you. I am doing okay. I went to Mass Minicon this weekend.
Yeah, we both had a convention experience this
Big
weekend.
Convention. Friday went to see The Thing. It was pretty good. It was a sold out show at the Brattle. It was fun. And then yesterday we went and spent a unreasonable amount of money on art from a bunch of really awesome artists, and I'm rich with new art.
Do not feel obligated to give specifics, but what does one of those posters cost?
It depends. They're usually like between, I'm gonna say like $70 and $100-ish.
Okay, so that's not as much as I was thinking.
The most I spent on one, I did spend $350 on one.
Was it the Jason Edmiston one?
No, it was the Vertigo by Paul Mann. It is
stunning.
Okay. Stunningly beautiful.
Yeah. I went to the Silver Scream, which is the Ice Nine Kills horror convention they do in Worcester, and we went to that a couple of years ago when they were doing it in Danvers, and I was fucking elated to have not just a horror convention back in New England, because we used to have one for years that was really pretty good called Rock and Shock that they held in Worcester.
Oh, yeah, that was, what's her name? Was that Poppy who did that?
I do believe so. And so it was that was a really fun show. And this Silver Scream, obviously that character from Ice Nine Kills, Spencer Charnas, had gone to those because it's very much the same sort of experience. But when they were doing it in Danvers, I was like, oh shit, that's fucking fantastic, because it's like 30 minutes from my house, and like I hate driving to Worcester because it always feels like it's such a fucking adventure.
That's because it is.
And then we got there, and so I did not go to Silver Scream 3. Just couldn't make it happen. And so we went this time, courtesy of Morbid. Mm-hmm. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And holy fucking shit.
A lot of people.
When we were at the second one, it was just at this like hotel, with a convention center, and it was pretty crowded. But like, I could see them doing it there again the next year. But apparently, the following year, they were just like, "This was way too crazy. We can't do it there again. So we got to go somewhere bigger." So they went to where Rock and Shock used to be. And by this time,
what's that? Is it the Palladium?
No, the Palladium is the concert venue. This is at the DCU Center, so it's a little convention center
the Centrum Centra.
Yes, yeah. If you're old,
I am.
And we walked in. It had been open for about an hour by the time that we got there, and we walked in, and we stepped into the convention floor, and it was just this fucking torrent of people, and you could not stop walking. So I was like, okay, kids, my daughter had been to one of these before. My son had never been to one, and so I was like, okay, it's gonna be crazy in there. And we stepped in, and it was like getting swept up in a fucking ocean current, like move down this aisle, turn the corner, go down this aisle. We could not stop to look at any of the stuff.
We had to put one of those like backpack leashes on him.
Basically.
Well, he's what, 13? It's fine.
There were so many fucking people there. I couldn't fucking believe it. And then, like, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to figure out how to do this vendor hall at some point in a way that allows us to actually take it in, because a lot of the vendors are quite good. When Rock and Shock did it, it was like every table was like a fucking yard sale of garbage that was just like horror related at a flea market. This there's people who make candles, and there's artists, and there's sculptors, and there's people who make masks and costumes and stuff. It's really quite good. But then also right next to that is that big celebrity area, and right in the fucking front they have Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, and the fucking people just like grind to a fucking halt to get into their lines, not knowing, including us, that their lines for the day capped out at 9 a.m. You had to get there hours before the show even opened.
No thanks.
And get a card that entitled you to stand in line. Is fucking nuts. But Ash just wanted to meet James A. Janice, and Chelsea. Yeah. Hey, oh, listeners, we have a guest, by the way.
A very enthusiastic one.
And guest, I am pleased to tell you, James and Chelsea are the sweetest people. They were
also, you tell your son I said ouch.
They were very, very sweet. He's a very shy, a little autistic, and so I had to sort of speak for him so that it wasn't terribly weird. They were so sweet and they were so pleasant, and I'm glad, because I don't know why I've always kind of judged them for some reason. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
But like he watches Dead Meat and the Kill Count, and so I've seen a few of them, and I gotta admit, I think Dead Meat is just fan service, which I think is what drives me kind of crazy about it. But Kill Count, he's a lot more honest about his opinions of certain movies on that one, and I appreciate that a little bit more. But I came out the other side with like really, really warm feelings, just knowing that these two people are just like very, very nice and very pleasant, and like and handled a terribly awkward situation really well. And then yes, I sent you the video of me standing in the hall for the Scream panel, and I was about to fucking scream myself, because it was like I was squeezed in with all of these people. It was just, the whole fucking thing was just oversold. It was crazy. But then eventually, after the Scream panel was over, like the fucking show like emptied out, and we were able to go into the vendor floor. So I think next year, if we do this again, we'll just go later, and sort of take it in. But then after that, we went to the Ice Nine Kills concert, and we got home at 1, and then I slept a few hours and got up at fucking 5 to go to work, and I was there until 3. So I am in a state right now.
Gross.
Yeah. Oh man, like my body hurts. Oh.
I just took an edible and watched Christian scare films. So
lucky you. I came home and collapsed on the fucking couch. My body was in pain. Yeah. Patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod.
What?
Sign up, baby.
What's happening?
That's me saying, dig me out of this hole I'm in. Yeah, so it's hard to explain to someone who's never had the experience what a trip to the video store was like back in the day. The shelves were choked with absolutely bizarre crap like these fucking movies. Yes. Well, like we're talking about today, except you could not get these in video stores. No, they were made on tiny budgets, like these movies, completely divorced from any recognizable reality, like these movies. Yeah. And it was the best, like these movies. We intend to talk about every one of them. Just before we get into it, a little housekeeping. You want to keep up with us between episodes, you can also find us on Instagram at bringmetheaxepod. Dave's over there at that queerwolf. I encourage you to follow us. You can see me posting terrified selfies of myself at a fucking crowded horror convention. Also, I ran into Tom Savini.
Yeah. Rushed the table.
God, I almost jumped over and just fucking kicked him in the face. No, I didn't do that. But Tom, if you're listening, and I know you are, I know you're still stewing over that shit.
Tag him in this.
I will get you, and we will settle this beef once and for all. Yep. Yep. And if you don't know, we have another show called Bring Me the Axe. You probably know that. You've been listening to us long enough. Our latest episode covering Killer Clowns from Outer Space is out now, and we are very excited to be back next week with a look at Vacaciones de Terror 2 Dos.
Mm-hmm. It has got a song. It has got the song to end all songs.
Why is Aileen not guesting on that one?
It felt too predictable. She's seen that movie a bunch of times.
I have seen it a bunch of times, but that song is fantastic.
Oh, I fucking love it. I cannot wait to talk about Chicos.
Chicos.
So good.
Yep. You can also contact us directly at 99centrentalpod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or suggestions. Do let us know if there's a cheesy movie that you love and would like to hear us give it the old business. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, please do. You can look us up over there at patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. There's a couple of tiers you can join there. Subscribers at the $5 a month tier can look forward to our bi-weekly X-Files rewatch pod. Do you think I'm spooky? Mm-hmm. We just cracked season. We recorded season 2. Yeah. The season 2 premiere, and we cannot wait to foist it upon you and be out this week.
Thank God.
2 fucking awesome episodes right up front, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What
There's also
season?
a
What season is the episode that is like the controversial one? That's like super.
Home.
Season
Home.
4.
Is that season 4? Okay.
Season 4. Yep.
Sorry to
Gotta
interrupt. I
ways to
need to
go.
remember these things.
Yep. There's also our monthly Bring Me the Axe Millennium Edition, which is a bonus episode in which we explore modern horror movie. Our current episode is out. It's a look at Rob Eggers' Nosferatu.
Surprise, we loved it.
So
We
good.
didn't love it.
No,
Sorry,
we didn't.
We didn't
No,
love
we
it.
didn't. But I'm gonna tell you what. We have a reputation for being a couple of fucking grouches about modern shit. I feel like we are quite fair to that movie in our
Okay.
assessment. Yeah. There's also my bi-weekly DJ show, Radio Free Haddonfield. In the weeks of Do You Think I'm Spooky is off. You can expect a surprising mixtape from everything from rock to disco to punk over there. All Patreon subscribers, even the free tier, get access to our Discord server. And paying members get access to additional channels like voice and video chat. The watch parties option. You pop over on Friday night, watch the subject of Monday's episode with us.
That is so much for $5.
So much value.
What a
We're
deal!
all about value here. Fucking
What do you-
right.
Do you subscribe to any Patreon shows there?
Me?
No, well, either one of you.
Yeah, well, yes, I fucking subscribe to Eileen's show.
Hey,
me too.
thanks.
Yep.
I'm really bad at Patreon.
It's not, some people don't have the money. Or they don't want to. Either way.
I'm happy to throw it to anybody. I just never go on Patreon. To even go on my own. I'm like, remember, Aileen, you need to post things, and I'm like, anyways,
We're such like fucking freaks that like we're just compelled to like keep the schedule at all costs.
and I respect the hell out of that.
Every once in a while, I will slip posting a Radio Free Haddonfield episode, and it'll come out on Friday instead of Thursday, and I'll be like, God damn it, you suck.
You
This
can't
is why
do
you're
that
not
to yourself.
famous.
Don't do that to yourselves, guys.
Yep, that's once again, that's patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. And lastly, if you like what you hear, you can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. Search us by name and subscribe if you prefer to consume your podcast that way. And you'd be doing us a favor by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you listen on YouTube, do us a favor. Give the episode a like, leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys.
And hey, if you don't know what to say, if you've got children and you want parenting advice, I would love to answer some questions regarding parenting advice.
I would love to hear your advice.
Because, quite
that is
famously,
a curious proposition you're
quite
laying out
famously,
there.
I love children. I like to see them in my field of vision and have them around me.
Constantly.
But I would love to give some parenting advice. I'm really good at life advice. I've made a lot of good decisions in my life.
And children need to hear that so often now these
Yes.
days.
Yep.
Everybody needs to.
Just want to get all that out of the way right at the top of the show, because if it isn't obvious, Eileen's back.
Yeah, hey, we have a guest.
Hello.
We blew the surprise.
From Uike Aurora.
Nice.
Thank
We
you.
love you. I've been working on it.
It sounds great. You guys are nailing it.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been rolling my R's a lot because I'm playing Dracula in this radio play thing, and so I got a little Bela Lugosi thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting there.
Bela
Aileen.
Lugosi, obviously Latino.
Yes.
But it's the rolling of the R's, man. It is
Dracula, famously Latino.
also, hey, the Melford Dracula, very Latino.
One of
It's
my
funny.
favorite Draculas.
I mean, a lot of time I keep reposting it every time I see it. I see people putting pictures up of Raul Julia in a Broadway production of Dracula, and he looks so fucking beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, that's Dracula. And he's Latino, and that makes fucking sense to me.
Yeah, that's Raul Julia in like a Kiss of the Spider Woman era, where you're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
my
yeah,
god.
yeah. What was that production was like 1980? No, in the late 70s, because one of the poster for that show appears in a Larry Cohen movie. God Told Me To, I think.
Yes,
Amazing.
He is stunning.
Yeah. Have you guys done the Melford Dracula?
We've done the Dracula, the Latino one, yes.
Yeah.
The one that was filmed simultaneously as the OG Bela Lugosi. Yes, we've done that guy.
Yeah.
He's a little goofy to us. Bela Lugosi obviously is like way better, but
yeah, we had the same conclusion when we did it. Is that Dracula is super hammy?
Yeah, he's a bit of a ham.
He makes a lot of the same faces that like Nicolas Cage did when he was playing Dracula in Renfield.
Yeah, ham sandwich. This guy is working the room, but fun. Sure, why not?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think I like with. This might be a controversial take. I like their Renfield a little better than
Yes.
Get out.
Fry.
Nope. Get out, both of you.
I agree. There's something about him that you're like.
He's very squirrely and silly.
Yeah, you're a goofball. There's something goofy about the Latino Dracula.
Yeah, they're having fun. They're not like stuffy Americans in 1931.
Listen, they're filming at 1 a.m. They're probably fucking so tired and we have to use this old set and these old costumes. Not old, literally just used before. We got to get out of here at a certain time. They're like,
the director doesn't speak Spanish.
Exactly. They're like, get out. It's fine. Let's go. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're Dracula. Yeah, I hear my wives. It's fine. Kill me, bye.
This right now is about the time that we would run the trailer for the movie that we're talking about. I guess there ain't no trailer for this movie or movies.
Yes. You guys.
It's a good one.
What the fuck did you make me watch?
Well,
I was just saying before we hit record, we bring you on to watch the stupidest shit we can find.
Stupid ass shit. Listen, the Turtles, I love them. They are my people, my heroes, and that's fine. But these here films you made me watch, y'all. You made me sit here and watch these two films. And I swear to God, I believe in Jesus Christ.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior?
He will come. He will come.
Wait. Save it. That is a beautiful moment in this movie. So tonight's episode is Ron Ormond's 1971 Christian anti-communist terror film. If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do? And then when we were watching it, taking our notes, it occurred to us that this movie is quite short.
Yeah.
And so the episode would also this podcast episode would likely be quite short. So we said, why don't we pick another one of these Ormond movies and subject Aileen to that as well? And then see if she's still our friend at the end. Yeah,
it's an Estus Pirkle double feature.
Yep. So
First of all, Estus Pirkle.
Estus Washington Pirkle.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Reverend Estus Pirkle. Yeah. I swear to God, he's a character from a Thomas Pynchon novel. He's such a fun, or even Cormac McCarthy couldn't write a character this ridiculous.
I would say he's very Stephen Kingian. He's such a stereotype.
Yeah,
it's unfucking real. So yes, our A picture on this double feature is If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do? And followed up by the B picture, The Burning Hell, which oh boy, because originally what we wanted to do was we wanted to cover, because there's technically three phases of the Ormond family production cycle, and the early stuff that they did were these very typical exploitation movies of the time, the sort of stuff that would end up on Mystery Science Theater 3000. And then in the 70s, they nearly die, and we'll talk about how that sort of happened, and they give their lives over to Christ, and they're
asterisk.
And they're put together with this guy named Estus Pirkle, a reverend from Mississippi, to make a cycle of Christian movies that are unfucking real.
Yeah.
And then the third phase is after Ron Ormond dies, his son takes over. It kind of glides the family legacy to a sort of unceremonious close. He's just sort of overtaken by the times. But
and by his love of the Lord.
Yeah, and what we wanted to do was sort of give you a little taste of column A and a little taste of column B. Unfortunately, unless you buy the Indicator boxed set, which I fucking recommend, it's like one of the best things I've purchased in the last couple of years. Their movies are really fucking hard to find, except for a couple of the Pirkle movies, and so we chose those just because of their accessibility. Still, I guarantee a good time here.
The best of the best.
Oh, man.
I genuinely was like, wait, is this a TED Talk? Like, I didn't understand the format.
I know it's a little off-putting because it's not really a movie in the way that you understand a movie to play. It's this guy staring straight down the barrel, talking
sermoning
to you,
warning
you
you
a sermon.
Yeah,
because if Footmen Tire You is a sermon of his creation that he'd been touring for years, which gives a couple of his statistics a little questionable quality, since he's always like, if we don't fix this in 3 weeks, the communists will take over. And it's like,
I had a lot of problems with his statistics.
With his math? Yeah.
His statistics seemed a little off. I'm going to go ahead and say.
I can't wait till we talk about the one with the
trillion?
The number with 300 zeros.
You guys, what the fuck is going on here on this day?
Oh, Aileen, let us take you on a trip here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, these movies were never intended to be played outside of a church, which is hilarious given how fucking violent they are.
Wow.
So here's some facts about this here movie. The year was 1971, year of our Lord indeed.
Of course.
And I was hoping that there would be a glut of Christian movies that were also made in 1971, because as the 70s approach, there is a sort of new wave, and the Ormonds' influence over the direction that Christian filmmaking takes in the 70s sort of accounts for where things go into the 80s and where we are now today.
Yeah, we don't get there's not a lot of Christian movies until the 80s.
Until then, and that all sort of starts with a movie called A Thief in the Night, which takes all of its cues from If Footmen Tire You. Like, there would not be A Thief in the Night, which I also watched recently to sort of contrast against this one. It's not very good. It has a bunch of sequels that are out fucking rageous, but the original one is not very good. So,
are they also horror-esque in that way, and that they're like moral, like
okay, no, and I'll get it.
Well, they are propagandistic in a way, because that was the whole point.
Propaganda.
Yeah, so the sort of exploitation qualities of these movies are unique to the Ormonds, because all of the stuff that comes in the wake of these are made by Christians who could not imagine chopping a child's head off in their Christian movie.
Well, they're lost then.
You know, so
genuinely jaw dropped at that moment.
And so the stuff that comes after is really pretty soft.
Sure.
You know, and it continues to be, because these are very, very easily offended, very easily frightened people.
Sure.
You know, who think the rest of us are soft woke pussies.
Of course.
You know. So here were some other movies released in 1971. A Clockwork Orange came out that year. All right.
Classic.
Good choice.
Good choice. Yep. Bay of Blood came out in 1971.
Yes. I love that movie.
Yeah. The Cult. Have you ever seen The Cult?
No.
It's a movie about the Manson family, directed by a man named, and I'm not making this up, in a podcast episode containing the name Estus Pirkle. The Cult was directed by a man named Kentucky Jones.
Well,
that is not his name.
He stole my drag name.
Welcome to the main
Fuck
stage.
my drag, I guess.
Kentucky Jones.
You got to, if your drag name's got to be Estus Pirkle.
My drag name is going to be Kiki Beret.
That's good.
Also in 71, Harold and Maude came out.
Oh, it's
okay, lovely.
All right, and then rounding out, this is a pretty good year for, weirdo art movies and cult pictures. Vanishing Point came out that year.
Ooh, the car movie?
The car movie with the guy who, fucking great. Fantastic. With the white Dodge Challenger. Killer soundtrack, man.
Yep.
Who's in it? I've never seen The Vanishing Point.
God, I can't remember who the driver is, but God, fill me in. He is in Blazing Saddles.
Gene Wilder.
Okay, not him.
Not Gene Wilder.
Mel Brooks.
Not Cleavon Little.
It is Cleavon Little. Cleavon Little is in.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, he's the DJ in Vanishing Point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. He was a good actor.
Yep. So, our director is a man of many talents. His name is Ron Ormond, one of the unsung titans of exploitation film. Though he's not as well known as Roger Corman or Ed Wood, he was adjacent to these producers right up to his death. Ormond came into exploitation the same way that a lot of folks in post-war America did, through vaudeville.
Fun.
Yeah, he was a magician and a hypnotist.
And a crappy one at that, apparently.
Well,
Cool.
they didn't have. That's all they had. I mean, come on, you didn't have to be that good.
Yeah. Prior to meeting his wife, June, he was a lousy stage magician and a mentalist who simply seized on an opportunity to make a cheap short Western movie with a Western actor on the downside of his career that never really took off in the first place.
Can you imagine? There was a time when you could just be like, hey, I'm a shitty magician and a bad hypnotist. I'm still making a living, and I'm going to parlay all of that into a film career that will last decades.
I'm telling you, it's that spirit of exploitation filmmaking, and I think that it could only come from a world of just constant hustling like vaudeville.
I was about to say, these motherfuckers probably were like, hey, what about you, guy? What do you think about this? Hey, you want another Jack and Coke? And let me bring you an idea about this. How about this movie, this picture, about this and this and that? Also, I'm a hypnotist.
They're all on cocaine.
And they're all on cocaine.
Yes.
Yeah, he used his powers of mesmerism.
He said, you will give me a film deal.
Yeah,
It's like, you don't like that? I've got an idea for a restaurant. Sit down.
Get a guy named Lash LaRue to play in like a bunch of his movies.
Lash LaRue is actually quite famous. He was a shitty Western.
Lash
By
LaRue.
the time that's your drag name.
Yeah.
By the time that Ormond caught up to Lash LaRue, his career was kind of coming to a halt, and so
they were they were in movies together. They were in westerns together, like in the 40s.
Yeah.
So Ormond is not like a fundamentalist Christian person?
Not yet.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, not ever.
No. But anyways, these movies were so cheap to produce and so easy to sell that they just made money hand over fist. But admittedly, he had a partner in crime in this enterprise. But yeah, eventually they start in Hollywood. Their story ends in Nashville, Tennessee, where his family transitions from producing hillbilly exploitation movies and transitions to outrageous religious movies intended to be shown in churches exclusively, and yet they still reflect his past exploitation experiences.
Mm-hmm. Nashville, Tennessee, where all dreams go to die.
Listen.
It's Music City.
I was going to say, when I saw at the beginning of the movie, it was like, paid for by Board of Tennessee, whatever the fuck, Nashville. I was like, oh, okay. Now, at this point, when I saw that, I didn't realize that I was about to enter a full, like, Jesus, in Jesus' name, we pray.
Yeah, it's a fever dream.
Yeah, for sure. So I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder what this will be, and how, because they were very proud of saying, this is brought to you by Tennessee and Nashville, bitch.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He's backed up by his wife, June Ormond. If Ron was the creative force behind the Ormond organization, she was the grounded business mind. She was where he was a crappy vaudeville performer, she was actually extremely talented.
Love it.
And had been a performer from childhood as part of like a family. Like basically, she was kind of like a dime store version of like June Carter.
Okay.
And her family were like the Carter family. But yeah, she was a force of personality that turned Ron into a performer when they were still working the stage. She was the one who chose the topics that were most sensational for audiences, became the distributor for their movies. And it must have driven her fucking insane during the religious years to be listed in the credits as Mrs. June Ormond.
Mm-hmm.
Because she seemed like a pretty strong-willed person.
Sure.
who was
to
just
be
naked.
a woman in vaudeville. I can only imagine.
Oh yeah,
and in the exploitation film scene is not easy.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
It was like her and Roberta Findlay, and that was it.
And you know the shit Roberta Findlay made, and that hoe was like, I don't give a fuck about all of y'all. Look at this porn.
Well, then her husband got chopped up by a helicopter.
Listen,
look it up. It's a horrible story.
It happens.
Yep.
Twice, like maybe once or twice.
Okay, so something unusual happened to the two of them in 1967. You see, Ron was flying their private plane.
Well, technically the three of them.
Right, because Tim Ormond was in the plane.
Yeah.
Ron was flying their private plane to Kentucky to premiere one of their hillbilly trash epics when the plane started going down a little faster than you want one to do such when you're inside it.
Sure.
Ron,
it was a very beautifully executed sentence you just said.
It came apart like Ron Ormond's plane going down.
Yeah, there you go. You saved it.
Going down.
So he started praying and promised God in that moment that he'd devote the rest of his life to faith if they got out of this alive, and then he managed to land the plane, though it did result in some pretty serious injury to him and his wife. But they were alive even after finishing their last pure exploitation movie, The Exotic Ones. They moved to making religious movies, and this, I feel, is where their career takes a truly weird and unique turn.
Okay, I have a theory. About what happened. So, Ron Ormond, anybody in exploitation is a bit of a con artist. You gotta be. And I think what happened was they saw 1967, 68 is when you start to see the exploitation scene is kind of blowing up. Yeah. You're getting H.G. Lewis, you're getting, who's the one that made Seeds, and Mad Butcher, and what's his name? The gay one, the ghastly ones.
Yeah, Andy Milligan.
That one gay guy.
Well, he was sort of famously gay.
That famous gay guy.
Famously gay guy. And so, like, I think that the industry is getting crowded, and they're realizing there's a lot more competition than there used to be, and he needs a new hook to make money. Because these people were sort of pushing him out because they had bigger budgets. They were able to go a little bit bigger and make more shocking movies. They were willing to kind of go the mile where he maybe wasn't. And so my theory is that they had to kind of pivot to something new, and Christians are always ripe for the picking.
Holy shit. They will foist cash upon anything that sort of just caters to their sensibilities.
Because these movies were insanely successple.
They were crazy successful.
Now, do you guys... This is so random. And I think it's a Sex and the City thing. But remember,
the answer's going to be no.
Okay. Well, I think it was in an episode of Sex and the City. I may be making it up. It may be a parody of an episode of Sex and the City. Whatever. But it's Charlotte invites a man to come and like fix a light bulb of hers. And he's like a friend of hers. Whatever. And he's an actor. And... am I mixing it up with 30 Rock? Either way, somebody invites...
and then Tracy Jordan comes in and says something crazy.
Somebody invites a man over. One of the main characters invites a man over to change a light bulb. He's an actor, and he basically says they like fuck or something romantic happens, and later on he's like... I like
that they fuck or something romantic happens.
Either way, something,
one or the other.
Exactly. And then at the end of it, it doesn't work out because he's like, I got a gig in a Christian soap opera or something like that. And like as a working actor, it's like the one place where you can get decent money and you can, and then I remember the character, even Charlotte, I think, being like, oh, okay. But that always stuck to me, like, this idea that, okay, you can't make it in good old Hollywood, might as well go to Utah or, like, a random place.
Oh, yeah.
And
Kevin Sorbo, Eric Roberts,
exactly.
Dean Cain, all these fucking loser men who just aren't popular anymore, and like they still need money. Yeah, Eric Roberts is in all these. He is basically catatonic in every of these Christian movies because he's such an alcoholic.
Yeah. And that's
Also,
what I imagine.
Yeah, but like Christian, like professional musicians find a lot of very steady and very well paid
yes
work in the Christian music
rock
scene.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to work at the record store and kids who had sort of like fallen out of faith would come in with like their Christian music collections to sell, and they always had people would come in with like a stack of like, they just got out of their boy band fan and they'd have like some Britney Spears and like they'd have like maybe like 10 CDs. They would come in with like a box of like 400 Christian music CDs. Yeah. Like it was never less than like 100 of these things.
There's a couple new books that just came out recently that are about. There's a couple about the Christian music industry and like all the history of these things. And they're super interesting because they're basically based on this exploitation model or like a very chaste version of like sort of the punk rock DIY ethic where it's like, well, nobody's going to do this for us, so we're going to make our own. But then very quickly, because they're just constantly chucking money at them, they get bought up by like BMG or Warner Brothers. And so it's like, you all think you're buying these like very pure CDs, and it's like the companies behind all of this are the same companies that are putting out
capitalism.
Ain't it grand?
Yeah.
Yep. Our cast includes, as we mentioned, Estus Pirkle, who was a traveling preacher from Mississippi who was such a weird freak that he turned motel televisions toward the wall so their wickedness wouldn't affect him as he slept.
What my God.
This man is so bonkers in a way that I find fascinating.
His
but also,
intensity is like furious fire.
He was like, he's a traveling Baptist preacher, and he had this sort of fire and brimstone, if footmen tire you. It's a very like sinners in the hands of an angry God, kind of like very fiery. We all have to go back to this. But as a person to look at, I can't tell if he's 40 years old, 70 years old,
what is his age?
He has like twice as many teeth in his mouth than anyone should have.
There is a handful of teeth in this film that I was like, what is happening, guys? Why are these teeth this way?
He's a very strange man.
Yeah.
There is an appeal, though. There's something about him.
I sent you a message when I said, in the right lighting, Estus Pirkle, it's looking pretty good to me sometimes.
I am not disagreeing with you in total capacity, Dave. I'm going to say there is a vibe there that I'm like, I don't know if it's the glasses and the clean cut that I'm
is it when he gets real close to the camera and whispers?
And it's not that part. No.
Will you come?
Will you come? It's not that, because that freaked me out. That's
where I got off the train there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not cool with this anymore. There's certain times, something really impressive about, I want to call him Pickles so bad. Pirkle. So the thing about Pirkle is
Reverend Pickles.
Pickles. He memorized that scripture, or he's very good at reading, but the way that he is spitting this shit out, that you're just like,
oh yeah, this is revival preaching. Like this is big charismatic Christianity.
And I felt the same way when I was watching Going Clear, the Scientology Scientology documentary, where in the beginning, before we get to Xenu, I was like, this sounds actually kind of nice, getting rid of your old shit and being present.
Eileen, maybe don't move to California.
I know. No. This is the problem. I may be susceptible to cults, and that's fine. I haven't gone all the way, guys, but I will say, listening to Reverend Pickles here, I was like, there's something about you that I'm like, if I was younger, if I was stupider, I would absolutely maybe be caught in your fucking
He's so
thrall.
Captivating.
Like, yeah, there's a conviction to what he's saying that is so like enrapturing, because he's so very like, obviously I think we are biased towards people who are very symmetrical, who are very authoritative, and he is the like the sort of perfect white conservative.
Yeah.
He's very square looking. He's very sturdy, except he's not. He's a very small man, but like he's very just like, I'm going to tell you how it is.
Yes.
And this is kids these days, the movie.
Yes, it is. Yep. Yeah. So he'd been touring this sermon for years called If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do?, which comes to this bizarre conclusion. America's drift toward a more secular society would inevitably fall to communism because reasons.
Yeah, no, they are all very confused, I think, about what communism is. Because they seem to be under the impression that the enemy of communism is Christianity specific.
Okay, so there is an unspoken undercurrent to this that is that they will never ever fucking cop to. That is the backbone of the John Birch Society. Mm-hmm. Is Christians went to communist China and were killed by the regime. And so it sort of is it's the entire foundation of their sort of outlook, which
it serves a victim narrative.
Yeah, which is communism, which Marxism has a sort of inherent atheism to it. They're just the enemy of Christianity, and so that because of that, they sort of cozy up to capitalism as the natural ally, which is also as cruel and shitty as some of these sort of nascent communist versions.
Yeah, it is wild, but they're just like, you know what the communists want most of all? To kill Christians, to drink our Christian blood.
Yep.
No, man, that's not what they want.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't think that's what they want.
Look, they're probably not super Christian, sure. But, like, that's sort of at the bottom of the list. I'm not pro-communist, but...
They kept saying, like, the Cuban communists, and they're not Christian. And I was like, have you met Latino people? We are so fucking Catholic, dude. I don't care how communist you are. You know Fidel Castro was going to church every day and being like, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros
600 years ago, someone fed someone else to dogs. You do not breed that fear out of anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a former cast member of an Ormond movie connected him with the Ormonds. Contemporary Christian movies were characteristically cheap and chaste, even when they were trying to scare you about the rapture and the Antichrist. Pirkle, on the other hand, had no idea who the Ormonds were, only that they made movies, but his absolutely fucking insane doom and gloom outlook paired extremely well with the Ormonds' willingness to shoot gory trash in the service of the Lord.
Wow. Oh, is this Brian Rosenquist? Is that the guy you're talking about?
Maybe. Is he the guy
other
who
filmmaker
put them together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Brian Rosenquist was like, he grew up in that sort of very rural, so I don't know if it's Delta, but it's South. It's deep, deep South.
Sure.
And he grew up in that. So I think that's why he knew who Estus Pickles was.
Yeah.
Every time I say that, I think of that
Tommy?
Scissor Sister. No, I think of the Scissor Sisters song, the one Let's Have a Kiki, where it starts with "What's up? It's Pickles."
Oh my God, yes! What's up? It's Pickles. She's been girl. She's been a real
Bitch
one tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
the
Pickles
MTA sounds for touching my motherfucking ass.
Yep. And so rounding out our cast is Tim Ormond, son of June and Ron, where Ron handled the creative with the scripts and the direction, and June handled the business end of the Ormond organization, pretty much made all their money. Tim handled the technical aspect of filmmaking and appeared in prominent roles of several of their later movies. He actually stars in The Burning Hell and handled things like sound, lighting, and editing. After Ron died in the early 80s, Tim took over the creative arm and carried the family legacy forward, staying in the Christian world with It's About the Second Coming, which is a true exploitation epic.
He doesn't have the juice, though.
He doesn't, and that's why they kind of coast to obscurity.
Because It's About the Second Coming should be really awesome, and it's not. The first 15 minutes of it are probably pretty great, and then the rest of it is a bit of a slog.
Yeah, yeah. So, unfortunately, exploitation film has changed significantly going into the 80s, and expectations of Christian cinema turned away from their goofy bullshit and toward a sort of slicker and equally gloomy fare like A Thief in the Night and the organization.
Boo!
Yeah, in the late 80s, after they just kind of closed up shop in the late 80s after a few real tepid pictures. They did like a real sort of cheap and shitty biopic about Harry Houdini.
Yeah.
Really?
It's not good.
Wow.
It's not good.
Yeah. So prior to the religious movie, the Ormonds' exploitation output is mostly unremarkable. They made dozens and dozens of movies, but most of them were cheapo westerns.
I would say the exotic ones is probably the
I'm going
most
to
watchable.
give you a few because that box set comes with the ones that are really worth watching because they are bug fuck.
Yeah.
A few of these movies are really wild. Please Don't Touch Me is about a frigid lady and a bad marriage.
I love it. But I think that's what's kind of amazing is that these are movies that like, a lot of exploitation movies did this, but it was like they were the ones addressing like women's issues. They're exploitation and it's real shit, but like this is the only place where people could be like, hey, maybe beating your wife's not a good thing. And like and people were like, oh, we gotta pay money to see that.
The title, Please Don't Touch Me, is unbelievable.
The most lurid shit.
I love that.
It's right up there with my second favorite. Am I Frigid? Why? Or no, I Am Frigid. Why? Is the name of it. Love that movie.
I Am Curious, Yellow. Speaking of lurid titles, Untamed Mistress is about a woman who, it is heavily implied, fucks a gorilla. Or at least a dude in a gorilla suit.
What?
Well, she is an untamed mistress.
Yup.
Holy shit.
There's a sequel. It's called Zoo.
Yeah. And then
wow.
40 Acre Feud I think was the one that we wanted to do instead of The Burning Hell. It's a hillbilly comedy musical that actually features a bunch of fairly well-known country music stars, including an extremely drunk George Jones.
Yes. I mean, let's be fair. George Jones was pretty much extremely drunk most of the time. This is one of the few times he didn't have a gun in his hand as well.
Wow, okay. They're like, sir, leave it in the hotel for today. Just come sing your songs, please.
Yep. So as mentioned up top, they only showed these movies in churches. They showed them to Sunday school classes. Children watched these movies in order to scare them into the loving arms of Christ, lest they become wayward communists and homosexuals.
Of course.
So one of the places, I could not find reviews for any of these.
Obviously. We have to take a much different approach than we usually do when talking about
If I had more time, I probably could have found some, but I did not have a lot of time. So I did find an ad. There was like a bunch of announcements for it. And in one of them, let's see, there was a guy in, I believe it was Tennessee. I got it in my notes here. Just got to fucking find it. Bear with me. Yes. One of the churches in Elizabethton, Tennessee was led by someone named Reverend James Earl Raper.
That's
a little too on the nose, Elizabethton. A little too on the nose.
No.
Holy fuck.
Also, one of Reverend Pickle's early versions of this was he published If Footmen Tire You in a sort of like a religious tract, like a pamphlet, and he did another version that was for children that had like cartoons, and some of those are in that book in the indicator box. I am going to put those on our Instagram because they are fucking wild.
My God, dude. They really said, how can we instill as much fear in these people so they can run to the church, bitch?
Yeah.
Well, so this whole movie, Pickles is going to say a lot of things about like, you got to go to, this is happening in Cuba and this is happening in China and this is happening in Russia. I will bet money that Estus Pickles has probably, until he decided to tour the South, had probably never left fucking Missouri or wherever the hell he was from.
100%.
But he was just like, I know what a communist is. It says so in the Bible.
Look who they cast as our communist. That man is
take what you
from
can get.
New Jersey, ho.
Joe Shoe Polish. He's from Arkansas.
Okay, see?
He's actually the one who's in more of their movies.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of them. I love that guy.
He's great. He was great.
A lot of face work.
I was going to say, eyebrows out the ass.
He's like, guys, don't you want to be a communist like me? Wink, 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 wink. Okay.
And there's a vinyl record version. I would love to own a copy of this. There's a vinyl version. And I think it's just him reading the sermon like from his tract, but I would love it. Just those sweet sounds of Estus Pirkle just in my ear holes.
Lulling you to sleep.
Mm-hmm. So the two movies that we're covering tonight are two parts of a trilogy. The third part is a picture called The Believer's Heaven, the upward counterpart to the second feature, The Burning Hell. In spite of these movies shocking the fuck out of churchgoers, those that had seen the others in the series were seriously let down by The Believer's Heaven, as it contains none of the shocking bullshit that makes the other movies so uniquely entertaining.
And that's proof that just everybody wants to see a fucking head get knocked off.
So everybody...
Absolutely.
Children were like crying. People were going to the movie and like running out as soon as like
it's
really
like The Exorcist.
And then but then they're like, okay, so let's give him a soft pitch, like something like we'll show him like how this is why you want to go to heaven. And then they went and they saw it and they were like, psh, fucking bullshit. There's
it's
no
like
head.
when you take a 10-year-old on a roller coaster and they're crying and you get off and you're like, oh my God, you want to go home? And they're like, no, I want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that.
Yeah, the Ormonds also made the Grim Reaper, 39 Stripes, The Sacred Symbol, and It's About the Second Coming without Pirkle. And while they have the outrageous exploitation vibes of these scare movies, they lack the Pirkle element, which kind of clinches the appeal of these movies in the first place.
Because the thing that we're sort of dancing around is that none of the Ormond family were actually Christians. I genuinely believe that this was just like... a pivot to make more money and to find a new niche.
As I was doing, because when I knew the sort of the story in the broad strokes before I did the research for this, and then as I read this, I was like, oh, they were just looking for a new angle.
Yeah, and when you do that, like when you do that without Pickles, who's really got a strong conviction, it just feels cheap and lazy, and you're kind of like, I don't know, it's not as fun.
Yeah, because like
nobody's taking this seriously anymore.
Even though A Thief in the Night is much more chill than these movies, it has that conviction that makes it watchable in the same way that these are. It's just not quite as ridiculous.
You gotta make me believe it. Come on,
right?
Yeah.
You need the fire and brimstone to like go along with the insane. Chopping up of a kid head and like all the fucking just lining people up and shooting them like
there's so much mass murder in this movie.
There's so much just like, okay, stand in the line, we're gonna shoot you, and it's just okay.
The craziest thing about these two movies is that we are now 50 some years later today.
Yes.
And this shit sounds like the crazy shit that comes from the right, and it's not even fringe stuff anymore.
No, this is the mainstream thought, and I've got notes about how fucking.
And this is y'all. If you have not heard this movie, if you've never seen either of these movies are fucking insane. Like these are the craziest. To believe any of this, you would have to be a weird shut-in, like a weird isolated, like certain Christian groups are.
Yeah.
Like very, very insular, to have never seen an outside world. Like we as Americans, Aileen, I guess I'm going to exclude you from this because you've lived outside of here a lot. But like, if you're just sort of American, born and raised in the U.S., you believe a lot of things about other countries that are not true.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. And particularly a lot of like Latin American countries where there has been socialism or communism. And it's just, so you grow up thinking certain things. And then when some of us, unfortunately not all of us, take the time to learn like, oh, that's really not what it's like there. It's very, very different. And in a lot of cases, like in Cuba, for example, we think that they're all love communism. Not really.
No. I remember in the 90s, I went down to Boston for a show, and it was one of those things where they had a person out with one of those like boards with like repent sinners and the end is nigh kind of things. And the person it was a metal show, and so they were there to save souls. And I heard them like some of the metalheads were like heckling in them, and they were like, "Did you not know that 1,500 children are kidnapped and sacrificed to Satan every day?" And I was like,
"It's a lot of children.
Do the fucking math on that one for a moment."
You'd run out after a month.
It's like in this one where Reverend Pickles is like, in China, they murdered 70 billion Christians just last year. And it's like,
that's 400,000 Christians a day.
And that's the thing that's like, that to me, I felt so similar to this day and age is this ease, like the fact that the misinformation was being spread back then. Like This man is standing in front of obviously like a filmed audience, but obviously they're playing this for children and other like
he may as well be
members.
In front of Congress.
Exactly.
In If Footmen Tire You, that is his congregation, his actual congregation. The only
all 17 of them.
The only actor is Judy.
Sure, or the other guy.
I love Judy. Poor Judy.
Judy?
She got suckered.
Judy
I call her Sandy in my notes.
You're like, listen, that one lady. To me, performance of a lifetime. She was up there and she was like, I will repent. But
he's like, oh, how many people have autism? A trillion.
Exactly. So
every day there have been 15 gajillion COVID-19 vaccine injuries.
It's the same fucking shit. You look at TikTok. Exactly. You look at TikTok, you look at Facebook, you look at Twitter, you look at social media in general, and somebody is going to say something crazy where at first everyone's going to be like, yeah, whatever, but there's going to be one fucking idiot who takes that thing and
shoots up the CDC.
Exactly. And then just spreads it, keeps going, and then other people start shooting up other things.
And the next thing you know, Charlie Kirk takes a bullet in the neck.
To the neck. So, like, you know what I mean? And then people get all butthurt about, like, whether you're empathetic or not towards that. And it's like, guys...
This is where we are. This is how we got here. This is why we have Trump right now, everybody.
Exactly.
Because of Ron and Ormond.
Reverend Pickles.
Yeah. So, Dave, you got anything else before we get into it?
I don't think so. I couldn't find much. I did find a really good, very, very short interview with him where Estus Pirkle describes this movie as an expose of communists' planned takeover of the U.S. And I just don't...
He's got your number, commies.
I don't know that there was ever really, like, I can't think of, I'm an American historian, trained to be an American historian, and I can't think of any time where, like, communism was like, you know what we got to do? Take over the U.S. In cases where they're communist rule in a country, they're just like, hey, that's just the structure we have. Yeah. This is what we're doing here. We're not really interested in trying to take you over as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was at the sort of, a peak moment during the Cold War, which...
Oh, yeah, this is really ramping up, the best part.
So, like, it does have that sort of historical backbone to it.
It's more like aligned with the Christian, the evangelical Christian victim narrative, because they're obsessed with being victims.
Yeah.
It's also a big part of the sort of end times thing, because in the 70s you did see a big kind of an uptick in sort of end times prophecy, and the whole thing was, what's going to happen is the Antichrist is going to come on up and lead everybody to, a new world order, and that in everybody's estimation, that new world order was a sort of world communist order. So there is a political flavor to this that is just left out entirely.
Right. I will also say, for at least for two of us here, I won't speak for Aileen, that we did not grow up in evangelical communities. We did not grow up in an evangelical home.
Me neither.
I will now speak for Aileen. This, I think, for all three of us is pretty foreign territory.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this out there just as sort of a proactive measure. I don't want to come across as mocking people for whatever it is they believe or don't believe, but like, this shit is so wild and so fantastic to me. Like, I sent the link to the movie to my ex-boyfriend, who grew up in a very, very evangelical home, like a fanatical evangelical home. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to hit the same way for you as it does for me, but like,
sure.
It's just, I think I just want to say up top, like, we are going to rip the shit out of this movie and make tons of fun of them. I don't want to come across as though we're mocking religious people or people who believe things. I personally do not believe in any of this, but it's so insane to me that it's hard to take seriously in any way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, and I know right now in this country, there are people who bolt their doors and are watching their neighbors through the slats of their blinds with a fucking loaded rifle in one hand, you know?
Yeah, like as much as anyone's heard me be like, hey, ghosts aren't real, demons aren't real, none of that shit is real, it's that times 1,000. I look at this and I'm like, I think all these people might be mentally ill.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
So this is like, I want to point out that like, we're going to be very, I think, pretty vicious with this movie, but we didn't grow up this way. And so this to all of us is so weird, like such a strange thing. This is why I'm not comfortable in the South. I've never been comfortable in the South. Like, I just find all of this very off-putting and very concerning in a way that I'm like, I don't think that any of these people are quite okay.
Yeah.
Because to believe this, to live in this kind of weird fear, to voluntarily live in this weird fear is so wild to me.
That to me feels living that type of livelihood. Sorry to any evangelicals listening.
Oh, there's none of that. None of them are listening to
Yeah,
I
probably
feel like
not.
that's the case, but like seeing that kind of livelihood is, as to me, what I would imagine their feeling of gay people, trans people, biracial people.
Oh yeah, you could take out communist and drop in any of those people. It would be the same thing.
But I'm just saying, like, the way they look at those people, that's how I look at them. I'm like, there's something about you that seems off, that you're not, something about you is,
I need to call someone.
Exactly. I don't feel safe because you seem so close-minded to a point where I'm like, I can't be me around you then. And I'd much rather be somewhere where I can be me. So, bye.
So after that entirely ambivalent, real wishy-washy statement up top, let's do it.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Let's take our listeners. Let's bring our listeners to the loving arms of Christ, shall we?
Let's go there. We're going to tell you
Will
about
you
Jesus.
come?
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Yep. So here it is. If footmen tire you, what will horses do?
Oh boy.
We open on communists casually riding along a country road on horseback.
Because they can't afford a car.
How do we know they're communists? Just look at the hastily crafted hammer and sickle armbands on their arms.
They look like they're made in a summer camp.
Yeah.
For communist children.
Yep. A tense, ominous soundtrack wants you to know that this is serious business. And then a voice asks the Reverend Estus Pirkle if the events in this movie are real, and the voice of the good Reverend assures us that the events in this movie have been documented from actual events taking place in Russia, Korea, China, and Cuba.
Those are the only places he's heard of where communists are.
These are all dramatized scenes that will happen here if they're allowed to take over.
Wow.
So he'd like to ask us a question. Well, several, actually.
And these are all just sort of, these are all rhetorical questions. He really just wants to talk at you.
Are you frightened of the rising crime rates in our cities?
No.
Does the murder of police and judges upset you? What about all the riots in our college campuses?
Yeah, he's getting real close to using phrases like the coloreds.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yep. If you are, boy, have we got bad news for you.
Yeah, this is what William F. Buckley would have been like if he had grown up poor.
Yes.
Unless we do something right now. Like, let a tyrannical police state take over with a strongman dictator president and the military occupation of our cities, then commies will invade in the next 24 months and kill all the good Christian people like dogs in the street.
And later on, he will say...
24 months.
Later on, he will say it will take 15 minutes for them to take over. Somehow we go from 24 months to 15 minutes.
He throws out so many rando numbers throughout because he literally is like, if I can't convince you with Jesus, I'll convince you with numbers. And
I'll bamboozle you with numbers.
And I know you're not going to look these numbers up. I know
How
you're
many
not going to give
Satans
a
are
shit
there?
about
72
these
bagrillion.
Yeah, it's like 1971. You don't got Google.
You don't got Google, and I can say whatever number I want to you, and you will believe it, and I will preach it in a certain voice where it will sound very accurate and real, and you will take this to the bank, and you will live this way.
He talks like a guest on Joe Rogan.
Really, this whole thing is like, this is Gish Gallop the sermon. Like, he is just going to fucking throw everything at you in 55 minutes, and you will not have a single second to look anything up.
Oh, this is breathless fear-mongering. It is wild. We are being chased by a metaphorical evil that takes the form of modernity. Back in the day, the Israelites were living like soft, woke men, and they allowed the Babylonians...
Here's what I have to say. If God's chosen people couldn't figure this out, what makes you think fat, lazy Americans can?
Soft, woke men is what he said?
No. That's me putting words in Reverend Pickles' mouth.
I was like, I don't recall him calling anyone woke. It would be hilarious if he did, though.
So ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Nope. They were such soft, woke men that they allowed the Babylonians to invade and just wreck their shit.
Yeah.
So now a crowd of good God-fearing folks are assaulted by the ghost of Babylonian soldiers. And then we see some regular Christian people being run into a creek by commie horsemen.
And the best part about this is that, so these are all the actors, well, most of the actors in these movies are from like their congregations.
Yeah.
And so these are not professional actors. It's just very obvious. These are not professional actors.
Oh, no. These people are
see,
Mississippi. These people are Tennessee 1971.
Yes.
All the way.
They went to the bulletin board after the church and they said, oh my goodness, Mary Ann, did you see that the pastor is about to make a movie? He said that he needs as many people as possible to make a scene. Are you going to try out, Mary Ann? Well, I tell you what, Ruth Margaret.
You're losing it.
Ruth Margaret, I am going to go because I heard the pastor say he needs blonde ladies because
and you were so good in the Christmas pageant last year.
Yes, you played Mary so beautifully. Oh my God, Mary Ann, I know.
And then she said, "Do you see how many teeth he had in his mouth? What am I going to say? No."
Ruth Margaret, stop talking about our pastor's teeth that way.
So they're all running through the water, like being run down by the horses, the guys on horseback, and they're all laughing and smiling because they're clearly having a good time doing this. And they're like, "Look, no fucking second takes, everybody. Just go."
Just go.
Also, communists don't give a fuck about children either because they'll kill them too.
Yes, of course.
To quote, if they refuse to yield, they too must be liquidated.
Holy fuck.
Pickles is really banking on the fact that Americans don't know anything about life in China, Russia, or Cuba.
Yeah.
And he is right.
Yeah.
Yep. If we don't do something now, we'll all be forced to work at gunpoint from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. This is illustrated by armed communists marching weary Americans to work at the misery factory.
That's right.
You will work 7 days a week. No breaks. You get 2 days off a year to praise the Communist Party.
To praise the communist takeover is what he says.
So not just the Communist Party, but the really good idea they had to come and just occupy America.
Yeah, it's like Communist Decoration Day.
Mary Ann, we have to make sure we're in this film because I cannot do only 2 days off a week. My son, he plays football, and I need to be at his games way more than that.
Well, you need more teeth.
Ruth Margaret, there will be no football when the communists take over.
Oh, Mary Ann, don't you even dare say that. Football, that's American tradition.
Can you imagine what Estus Pirkle's life must have been like? He's such a miserable motherfucker.
Holy shit. What did that home look like? Was he married? Was he going home to somebody? Or
yes,
what?
he had multiple children.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say multiple wives, and I was like, oh,
maybe.
You know, for a moment there, I was like, oh, shit, is this something I don't know? He had multiple wives. No. Among the horrors you'll see are children lying dead in the street, illustrated by a shirtless teenager lying dead in the gutter, covered in blood and smeared with mud.
Big pile. Someone killed a big pile of dirty white orphans. They're just laid out. For some reason, all like half dressed, which is a little bit weird.
Why were they all naked? I don't like it.
Well, in communist America, everybody shares everything, including shirts.
Exactly.
Cut to a shot of a literal pile of dead children. Yeah. They're Christian boys and girls who refuse to yield their faith. So they had to be killed to stop their faith from corrupting the other kids. Yep. And now we cut to a crowd of people just being gunned down.
One of many shots of just crowds of people getting just like full on. There's like 6 or 7 different scenes of people just being like, oh, are we just standing around? And then just communists coming up and being like, it's crazy.
Oh my God. And also, I love that there's squib work in this movie.
Yes!
Oh yeah. Yeah. And listeners, you might be thinking that this all sounds like an extremely disorganized breakneck story that is going on right now. This is literally how it unfolds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Outside of Reverend Pirkle's church, a car pulls up and drops off Judy, who is late to church. She is literally hitching up her dress, which is way too short to be worn to church.
I love it. Her boyfriend drives her to church, and he's not going to go in with her.
No, how do you know he's a bad boy?
No.
He's got sideburns.
And he says, not on your life, baby. I'm a lover, not a Christian. And I want that on a t-shirt.
Yep. She quietly
not on your life, baby.
Not on your life, baby.
No, she quietly lets herself in as Pirkle is preaching about the end times.
She's a little buxom for church, if I do say so.
My girl said, I'm going to church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she is the whore of Babylon.
She's like, I gotta keep up appearances.
Yes.
Yeah. So as the congregation watches, he rants and raves. You see, it's not just communism that we have to worry about. We also have to get real hard about Christianity.
Yeah. Basically, here's the message. Mothers and daddies, your children are too slutty and stupid to outrun the Footmen.
America is full of woke pussies whose faith is all about empathy and kindness. And because of that, God will send the latter rains elsewhere, and America will not be taken up when the rapture comes. I am not making this up.
Yeah, and he said his original sermon, he like calls out very specific things by name, like pop culture things, and he does a little bit in here.
He's very generalized in this version. But I'm about to walk him down.
In his sermon, he calls things out like very specifically. He's just like, and the honeymooners, basically,
Sonny
yes.
and Cher.
Mm-hmm. He's like, why is there no Sonny and Cher anymore?
The Brady Bunch. 2 families coming together. That is sin.
He's got thoughts about that too.
He starts ranting about strange young people, which I love. He just call them hippies, man. Judy is bored as hell as the Reverend starts yelling about the metaphorical footmen, which will chase us away from God's light.
Because he says something. He's like, "Oh, they had something to live for and to die for, and these young people have nothing to live for or die for." And then they cut to Sandy, and she's kind of got this smile on her face. And my note is just like, "Hey, I think Sandy's got a few things to live and die for, if you know what I mean." Talking about D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That girl's getting digged down, and she's like, you don't know nothing, Mr. Pickles.
She'll have some sexy flashbacks later.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yep. So here are some of the sinful things that we got to watch out for. Dancing, loose women, and hippies.
100%. Yep. Got it.
A young lady at his church once got catcalled in church because she was wearing a miniskirt. He's probably talking about Judy.
Probably.
I mean, and what does he say? Modern teachers are teaching sex.
Let's, because we're going to get there and we are going to laugh and laugh and laugh.
But also, because when he said that, I was just like, what is this dude complaining about? People are showing up to church. Who fucking cares what she's wearing? Also, why don't we just not catcall women? How about that, Estus Pickles?
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
So we cut to the good old days, the golden years, if you might.
Oh, you mean when Estus's daddy went to school?
Yeah.
During the Civil War?
In Pirkle's daddy's old Georgia, they played simple games because they didn't have modern amenities like TV and radio and women wearing short dresses.
And they read the McGuffey Reader.
They read the McGuffey Reader, which
Do we all remember the McGuffey Reader?
No,
what the fuck is the McGuffey Reader?
I remember it.
Eileen, let me tell you about the McGuffey Reader because I looked this up and was saddened to see that it is still a big part of
Neither one of you had to do this?
No.
We had this in school.
I don't recall this at all. This is still a big part of homeschool programs in America.
Oh, okay.
It's
because I think it was bought by a Christian company.
Yeah, it's basically a reading primer for like young children that also teachers like goofus and gallant like moral lessons and Bible stories.
They used to sell it on what are those called, infomercials in the 80s. Like if you'd be staying home during the day or whatever, you'd see commercials for it on TV.
Love it.
It's kind of like, you remember Muzzy?
Yeah,
the phonics thing.
Muzzy, I know exactly.
It's basically Muzzy, but it was from the 80s and it was like for reading, but there was a
Je suis la jeune fille. Isn't that what it is?
I don't know.
Is this anything
Why do you remember it so well?
Is this anything like the Phonics Monkey?
Very similar. Muzzy's like a modern, like a current version.
Okay.
Did he teach you French though? No.
Well, like they were just these were like things that you would use to. They sell them as ways to like accentuate your kids' learning experience, but the reality is like this is just for homeschooling. And it's almost because so much homeschooling is done by Christians,
right?
It's got a Christian bent to it, but they would never really say that,
right?
Yeah. The place I was taking jujitsu at, I swear to God, like.
And he means now. He means he's doing that now, not in the 80s.
No, right? Like I swear to God, like 90% of the kids in the kids program are like all homeschool weirdos.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But also, why are you a 50-year-old man taking jujitsu with homeschooled children?
Because they're so easy to beat. That's why.
All I see is little teeny tiny people, and then Brian standing real tall.
You can choke them out so fast.
Just like
and he's
boom,
like, yes,
boom,
sensei.
boom, armbar, lapel choke. All of them. 6 years old. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, elbow them in the teeth. They're all baby teeth anyways. They'll fall out of their heads.
She came up to me, man. This is...
Yeah. So the problem is they don't teach that McGuffey reader in modern public schools. Instead, they teach sex and genders and stuff. And fuck me, this is all hitting a little too close to home right now.
I loved this. I laughed out loud several times during this. This was the first time when he was like, modern teachers are teaching sex, and they cut to the guy, this fucking hippie guy who goes, premarital sex is necessary. And now we will go on to discuss the 7 erotic zones of passion in every woman.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Listen, this guy wants to tell you all about how sex is rad. Listen, here's how you pleasure
this
your
guy
ladies,
fucks
dude.
and he wants you to know it.
The man also that's saying it, he's the most like wimpy dude too. He's like the 7 erogenous zones, ladies.
Well, he's from their church. So they got this. He was the sexiest, most progressive looking one they had.
Oh yeah, and they had to make Reverend
Pickle said, all right, gentlemen, I want y'all to stand up, line up right here. I'm going to see which one of you is the manliest to play the sex teacher.
And Ned Flanders was the best one they had.
And he said, Oakley dokley.
Estus Pirkle probably wanted to play the role himself, but he was just like, we are going to discuss the 7 erotic zones of passion in every woman.
Exactly. Kiss her on the lips and that's it.
And a nice
missionary
firm
sex only.
You tell her hair looks nice, and then you say good night.
And when you're done, you both shower and go back to your separate beds.
Exactly.
Okay, also, guys, TV, wicked bad for you. Did you know that Saturday morning cartoons are wicked? They are designed to lead your kids into crime and sex. Yeah. In areas where they're cartoon, the crime rate has increased 1,000%. Citation needed, Reverend.
So he actually calls out. He calls out in his original sermon. He calls out specific cartoons.
Tom and Jerry.
And the Flintstones is the one he has the biggest issue with.
What? He's like, how dare they mention any sort of evolution?
It's literally the honeymooners. You cannot get older.
It's the fact that it's people living amongst dinosaurs. He doesn't like the fact that that's like it's Jesus and no dinosaurs.
That's right.
Oh,
Jesus
also,
and dinosaurs together.
You would think that the Flintstones like leads a little credence to like the young Earth theory. See, humans living with dinosaurs.
Exactly.
But so this is they cut to when he's talking about the evils of television. They cut to these 2 fat children sitting in front of the television in dining room chairs, just innocently trying to read the Bible. But they can't because I guess the Flintstones is too erotic.
Billy, this Tom and Jerry cartoon is making me look at it as really hard. Why is that one?
My nipples are hard.
He's just trying to read the Bible, but he can't. He just can't because the TV is way more interesting than that moldy old book. And
Johnny, why does that Bugs Bunny with a wig and a red dress make me feel funny outside?
He literally says in the sermon, that Looney Tunes is turning people into criminals. And he cites specifically Wile E. Coyote as a reference. How are we supposed to take any of this seriously? But more importantly, how did they get power?
Yeah, exactly.
No, guys. Hey, guys. Question. What about the drive-in theater?
Well, they are a spawning house for sex, I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
You can sneak people in your trunk.
Such criminal behavior. The only thing they show there is raw sex and violence. And, well, okay, you kind of got me there, Reverend.
It's true. It's true.
But also, we just used to lay a blanket over the people in the back seat.
Yeah.
And you just pay for the two people in the front.
Yep.
Of course.
And hey, another question. What about dancing?
Dancing is the front door to adultery.
Your penis and your vagina are too close.
It's
These
just wrong.
People's lives must have sucked.
Yep. It starts with dancing and it all ends with fucking.
It's true.
And
the heat, animal heat from your loins.
I want that as my ringtone.
I'll clip it for you. And what about booze? Did you know that kids are drinking? We cut to a shot of Judy just imagining herself drinking with her boyfriend, and it makes her smile.
And I love that they cut back to this, just Sandy and her sucking slutty boyfriend, and I keep expecting him to pour his paper cup of bourbon all over her chest or something. Because it's that real flash dance moment.
Do they do the thing where they hook their arms and drink?
I feel like that's what they should do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, and then he goes over drug addiction, and unfortunately, the numbers are pretty accurate here. 47% of returning vets did come home with addictions picked up in Vietnam, and gasp, people are advocating.
Do we want to unpack any of that?
Yeah,
no,
right.
Nope.
How about
of course
some help?
No, because you know who they were fighting over there in Vietnam?
Charlie.
Communists, communists, and the devil.
All of us are right.
Extension.
Yeah.
Yep. And gasp. Did you know that people are advocating for the legalization of marijuana?
Can I tell you the hit I was taking off of my pen when he was saying those words? The way he was saying that, and I was like, okay, I see what you're saying.
She was like, what, do you mean me?
Who? Me? This whole thing? I can't believe it.
So now we cut to a preacher marrying two people. What's wrong with that, you might ask? Well, what if one of these two people has been married before?
Well, they're obviously corrupt.
Scandalous. Straight to hell. And
how dare you?
What about all these people who won't go to church? They spend all their time joyriding in their car, and they don't even have an hour to give to God. And if that hour is listening to this guy, I kind of get it.
Yeah,
joy riding in your car instead of going to church. How dare you?
There are people who are advocating a 2-year trial marriage, and I thought, well, that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
That sounds preferable. That's someone who should be doing.
As someone who's sort of not anti-marriage, but disinterested in marriage, sure. I would think that that's probably a good thing. People get married awful quick these days.
As somebody who lives alone and plans on doing it till the day she fucking dies at 103, get these people away from me. I don't want to get married. Get them away.
And you're moving. You live in very, very small cities, or not small cities. You live in small apartments in very expensive cities.
It's true.
So if you got married, you'd be living with someone on top of you.
Yeah. No. Thanks. Bye.
You gotta really like that person.
No.
Yeah. And I don't like anybody. So.
And what's the end result of all this? Communism. They took over China in only a couple of weeks, which is not true at all. The communist revolution took about 20 years, and China wasn't really a country in the way that we know it. So, yeah. Up yours, Reverend. But if we can't get our shit together, it'll take the invading communists 15 minutes to take over America. And then won't you sinful assholes be sorry with your drive-in movies and your miniskirts?
I don't think Estus Pickles has ever seen a map of the United States. It is a very big country.
Or a clock, he said.
Oh, man, I know. Oh, man, he would have loved Red Dawn.
It's going to take a trillion seconds for them to take over.
Yes. When they come onto our shores, y'all will see.
This is when I believe next we get new faces, new newscasters.
Oh, yeah, we cut to a news bulletin where the news guy is telling us that the president has been killed along with the Speaker of the House and that all these governors are being killed and the communists are herding people into the streets and just gunning them down. It's all over, folks.
And these newscasters...
I've just received a special report. I've just received another special report. Hey, just a second. One more special report, guys.
And he looks like a wax dummy dressed in a brilliant gold suit.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. From now on, we will be lorded over by men with machine guns who have been trained to hate Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Do you know what communism says about people 30 years and older?
Well, there's no use for them.
Fuck
they
y'all
can't be
is what they say.
But, also pin in that because we're going to reverse that later on.
Right. Yep.
Right.
They only want the kids.
Right.
So we cut
and then we cut to a scene where they've come for the Jodes.
Oh, man. Cut to some communists riding their horses up on a house. A joker with shoe polish on his face to indicate swarthy communism snatches up the little children and throws them in a truck as their parents cry.
And so this is the commandant, or der Kommissar.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing they were like, all right, here's the thing. You're going to be the commandant of the Russian whatever. And he was like, okay, what does a Russian act like? And he went with smug and brain damage. Because this guy is doing so much face and head work and the eyebrows are going. And
just... Jack Black has nothing on this guy's eyebrow work.
It's insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then once they have your kids, they're going to brainwash them to hate Jesus. And here is how they're going to do it, you guys. We cut to a schoolroom where they talk about the glorious communist state and how Jesus sucks.
And all of the children, they all have the dead eyes of conservatism.
Yep, he goads the children into telling them that they believe that Jesus answers prayers. And then he commands them to pray to Jesus right now, to have him drop some candy on them. And then when nothing happens...
I feel like this scene says a lot more about Christians than it does about communists.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
And then when nothing happens, he gives them candy because Fidel Castro provides what Jesus cannot.
All right, listen, sir. I think Fidel Castro wasn't bringing anybody glorious candy. At most, 5-pound bag of rice and 3 bags of soil.
The fact, have you guys ever watched the Perez family?
No.
So, Zohan Mamdami's mom directed it.
Oh, shit.
It's basically a film about a Cuban family that moves to Miami and they have to lies in deceit. Cuban people that they go to Miami to try and find what's the word?
Cocaine.
No, they're trying to find what's the word when you're not an immigrant, you get
asylum.
Asylum, thank you.
And what you all couldn't see was that Aileen was just doing a sort of head, shoulders, knees, and toes motion. It's very confusing.
So they're trying
it's like
to find
a house? Is that a house? What are we doing?
It's like they're trying to find asylum. Hello.
Sorry, I didn't get that one.
Well, listen, I understood what she was gesturing.
Thank
so
you.
I don't know what the problem is.
But so it stars, unfortunately, nary a Latino. It's Marissa Tomei, Alfred Molina, who's so good in it, and Angelica Houston. Oh my God. Ooh. So anyways, Marisa Tomei, Marisa,
You know, who you just said is not Latino.
It's not. Marisa Tomei.
She is now.
Yeah. She basically is like, I need to live in America, the American dream. The only way I get out of this football stadium that we are currently living in, because that's where they have to stay in until they find a sponsor, is by telling the people that I have a family.
Is this like a Mariana boat lift thing? Or is this like a historical?
Maybe,
or does it take place now?
It takes place in like the 90s kind of vibe. 90s Miami kind of thing. And basically she like finds different solo people in this area to pretend to be a family. And she's like, oh, my husband, Alfred Molina, he's not her husband really. And then this kid is her son and blah, blah, blah. And then they exit this football stadium and then they become a family somehow. Why did I bring this up?
I can't remember.
Cuban.
Yep. But hey, guys, it's not all candy in Castro.
Well, that's why I remember. She's a sugar cane cutter, and she's like, Castro didn't give me anything. Blah blah blah. Okay, nope. Okay, go.
Good story.
So
and then I found $20. Okay, go.
They force the kids to work in the fields, you see. 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Listen, I think if you want productive farm workers, children are not your best option.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
They have tiny arms.
Yes,
also,
not strong.
in this moment, they've got them in this classroom where they're teaching them about all the wonders of state communism. Why aren't these children out working the field 12 to 16 hours a day?
Well, this is the one day where they're celebrating, I guess, Decoration Day? What do they call it?
Yeah, sure.
Electrician's Day.
Yeah.
One of the commie comrades finds a congregation of Christians attending church sub rosa in the woods.
Oh, God, this moment.
I thought, here's another moment. I thought everyone was supposed to be working all the fucking time, but these people somehow found time to go to church secretly. The commandant breaks it up, forces the reverend to step forward so they can shoot him.
You know, like when the French resistance would just take breaks every once in a while to go to church in the woods for 7 hours, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. And now.
Here we go.
The commies tie up the kids. And, I shit you not, Reverend Pickles swears that this is something that is really happening in communist countries.
Again, the statistics are very
Black
real,
and white,
you
it's
guys.
right there.
The data speaks for itself.
Yes.
So the children can never, ever hear about Jesus ever again. Their eardrums are punctured with bamboo sticks. So now, naturally, we cut to a shot of a kid getting his ears stabbed up while he vomits.
Actual vomit. Like this poor baby barfing on screen.
Yeah.
Like at first, it looks like he just like kicks out a little drool.
Yeah.
But then he just opens wide. And
And he has 2 bamboo shoots sticking out of his ears.
I paused it to catch my breath.
I was taken aback in the best possible way. It's unbelievable.
Unfucking real.
And then Mr. Pickles is like, and he couldn't hear anything because he had a stick going through his head.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
This child is foaming at the mouth. He couldn't
hear the word of the Lord because a stick was in his ears. And you know what happens when you can't hear the word of the Lord? You vomit.
Unreal.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Wild.
And then we cut to some laughing commies dragging a screaming woman off into the woods. According to Pirkle, the communists just like to rip women in half by tying them end to end to 2 jeeps and driving away. Judy is starting to look horrified.
Judy is upset.
You know that he probably believes all of this.
Yeah.
I can't believe. So, okay. I assume neither one of you has ever read Christopher Columbus's diary.
No.
Okay.
Not.
So when they traveled to the New World, Christopher Columbus wrote a diary. He kept a diary.
Yeah.
And when they land in what I guess is now Hispaniola. So
Dominican Republic or Haiti.
Yeah. And so they land. It's like Puerto Rico-ish. And they meet people because they don't speak the language. They don't speak the same languages as anybody. he just assumes that he knows what they're talking about, that the native population is trying to convey to him.
Yeah.
And he decides that there's another tribe on the other side of the island. They're going to be the less friendly tribe that have the heads of dogs. He genuinely believes that there is, on the other side of this island, a race of people, I guess, who have dog heads. And this is because he misunderstood a word that they said to him that sounded like another word he was familiar with. I can't remember what the actual word is.
Cachorro, because he's Portuguese. He's whatever. He's
word.
Italian.
Right. So that's the problem.
Cucciolo.
I can't remember what the word is, but so like he builds this whole worldview where he's like, okay, we got to do something about these dog-headed people. And it's like, hey, man, have you ever seen anybody with the head of a dog before? Didn't matter.
No.
He's genuinely believed that there was another kind of people that they've just stumbled upon. And I feel like that's what Estus Pirkle is doing. He's just like, you know what? I've never met a communist in my life, but I'm going to tell you all about him right now. Like to hear it. Here it goes.
Yeah.
So we cut to an American home where wifey is sewing a new dress.
Oh, man. And the commandant is insatiable. So many vices at once.
A drunk communist comes stumbling in with a bottle of vodka, and he can go busting in on any house he wants now because it belongs to the state, and so does this dude's lovely wife.
Yep, that's right. Hey, it's communism, baby. We share everything.
Yeah.
He's here
Prima nocta, baby.
He's here to spend a little time with the lady. So he beats the dude up and throws him out of his own house, and then drunken advances on the lady with his gross, swarthy grimace.
It also looks like at one point they indicate that he like took his dick out. Like the way that he's walking towards it. They indicate that like he just unzipped his pants or something.
Here you go, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Estus knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows communism.
It's that old exploitation spirit.
Yep.
Pirkle tells us that some church people think that communism and Christianity can coexist, and I assume that he's talking about liberation theology, which made the rounds in Central America in the 60s and 70s and led directly to CIA interventions and coups that replaced socialist governments with horrific and bloody military dictatorships.
Yeah, some of the most horrifying monsters you've ever heard of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pirkle then goes on to run down the numbers. Get ready.
First, he supports all this with a quote. I dream of the hour when the last congressman is strangled by the guts of the last preacher.
Okay, that's a little further on, and actually,
poetic.
He's like, this is a quote from a top communist in America, and then he gives that quote, and that's actually a quote from a French philosopher named Denis Diderot, and he coined it in the 1700s.
I love it.
It's fucking beautiful.
It's great.
Anyways,
it's great.
Pirkle then goes on to run down the numbers. When the communists took over in Korea, they killed 3 million Christians.
In one day.
20 million in Russia, and 50 million
half an hour.
50 million in China. And while the North Korean communists...
These are suspiciously round numbers.
I know.
Right?
The North Korean communists did, in fact, kill Christians. They interned the rest, but the numbers were close to about 50,000. Because there just weren't that many Christians there.
Sure.
Yep. When they take over here, the plan is to kill 67 million Christians.
Aren't there more? In 15 minutes, too. Clock's ticking.
We told this over another shot of children lying around all dead and shit.
Right, of course.
Yep. Cut to another scene where the shoe polish communist is terrorizing some family as they question everything they've ever done since they were 5 years old.
Yeah, this is where we get Tim Ormond's big reveal. And my note says, "Tell him all the dirty stuff you've done, Tim."
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Because Tim's just like, he's like, all the sinful things. They want to know everything.
Yep. Young Tommy wants all these guys to just go away. So he agrees to tell them that he's not a Christian and not a capitalist. And his parents are so horrified that he would deny his Lord.
And listen, if people have not seen this movie, they're all sitting on a couch, basically together. The communist is sitting 7 inches away from them. The rest of them are sitting right next to each other. And Tim or Tommy or whatever is just like, I'm going to tell him I'm not a Christian. They're like, no, don't do it. And it's like, hey, everybody, he's right next to you. He can hear every word you're saying.
Yep. And then to prove his loyalty, they give him a gun and make him shoot his own mom, who is a Christian. That's because communists just love to torture people.
That's true. You guys, it's true.
It's the hard truth about communism.
Yeah.
And boy, he starts like throwing these things out. And he's just like, here are all the things they love to do. And my note says, and by they, he actually doesn't mean the United States military.
It sounds so similar, though.
He's describing Guantanamo Bay.
It's suspicious. It's suspicious, right?
Every accusation is a confession.
Yep. So now we cut to a scene where a dude is tied up on the porch where the guard just keeps hitting him. Elsewhere, they make some dudes stand against a wall where they can never sit down. In another scene, a guy is being force-fed salt.
I laughed out loud. There's someone just shoveling salt into this guy's mouth.
It's not just that. He is straddling his neck.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little sexual.
You usually have to pay somebody to do that.
Cut to another scene where a dude is being hung hogtied from a tree. His only crime is being a Christian. His own family is forced to hold the rope that suspends him over a pitchfork, and then they drop him while the swarthy guard laughs. Hilarious.
Over and over and over again. They're like, pull it. No, don't let him fall. Boof. Oh, oops. Sorry, Dad. Hold on, Dad. And boof again. Oh, shit. One more. Hold on, Dad. We got you. And then another time. It's 3 different times they drop him on that fucking thing.
Who could blame the communist for laughing? Because it's legitimate.
Well, the kids are laughing too, so.
Yeah.
Here's a shot of some people forced to sit on a bench for 17 hours with no cushions.
Yeah, no, part of the communist plan is to make everyone sit in really uncomfortable seating.
Yep, they're forced to listen to a recording which says, communism is good. Communism is good. Communism is good. Christianity is stupid.
Christianity is stupid.
Christianity is stupid.
And if people need a comparison, his voice sounds an awful lot like George W. Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
it's
much
that
so.
Southern.
But in that one section of him doing the message, that like the mind boggling, I sat there and I was like, wait.
Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid.
Wait, Christianity is stupid?
Give up. Give up.
Give up. When he said give up, I was like, all right, dude, I'm giving up.
Say, surely, Reverend, these things could only happen during the tribulation. But they're happening right now. You say, Reverend, Jesus said he would come back for us. But lo, Jesus also said that if you turn your back on him, you're fucked. He'll go to Brazil or Indonesia.
Less deserving brown people.
Yes.
Only if the people turn from their wickedness and come back to him, it'll be all good. Judy remembers all her wickedness and starts to feel bad.
Yeah, Sandy's starting to regret her slutty ways.
Oh shit, Judy, Sandy.
Cut to Judy putting on some outfit that has no sleeves. No sleeves.
My arms.
She may as well show off her ankles while she's at it.
And her mother is worried for her soul because her outfit has no sleeves, which can only mean one thing. She's going to fuck.
Yep.
She's gonna go fuck a communist.
And they cut back to Pirkle, Estus Pirkle, and the message he's basically saying is like, hey, everybody, you got to keep on top of your Christianity. You got to guard your Christianity.
Right.
It is like a full-time job on top of your already full-time job that you have. Yep. All right? This is not easy. And my note is, gee, I can see why so many people just flock to this religion.
So we cut to a montage of families reading the Bible together and reading the McGuffey Reader in their weird homeschool situation.
That's right. A little bit of Muzzy in there, too, I bet.
There you go.
People flock to a miserable church in a rocky parking lot. Kids happily sing about Jesus. It's supposed to be cute. It is horror movie shit.
It really is.
And one of the preacher is dressed in a red striped suit, like a riverboat gambler.
He's got a little seersucker action going on.
I was going to say seersucker.
Mm-hmm.
Judy continues to be haunted by her wicked, slutty ways.
Judy, no!
She imagines her mom being all disappointed in her, and she starts crying.
We hear Estus Pirkle say, we must turn from our wicked ways. And my note says, looking at you, Sandy.
Yes, Judy Sandy.
She imagines her mom having a heart attack while she was out being loose. If only
her
she
godlessness
stayed in and
killed
read
her
the
mama.
scripture, and then her mother dies, and it's all Judy's fault.
No,
Yeah, that's right.
Judy.
Mama manipulated and emotionally abused her daughter right up to her last breath.
Mama, no, I didn't mean to be such a huge whore.
That is basically what she says.
The Reverend runs us down one more example. Swarthy communist guy wanders up on the church and busts up the Reverend's chops about saving people's souls. He has
I quote, "Good morning, comrade pastor."
He has his comrade Nikolai congratulate the saved couple by marching them out to the adjacent lot where they are executed. Can you believe that this really happened?
I had hoped that they were going to take this young couple as they were going to be dragged away and made to fucking public, because that's the communist way.
Yep. And then because we haven't had enough mass murder yet, the communists shoot the rest of the congregation down.
Of course.
This all seems very counterproductive.
Truly.
Who's going to work the fields?
It's like Children of the Corn.
I thought we were supposed to be converting people to communism, not just killing everybody in town.
Who's going to work the cane fields?
Exactly.
Okay, guys. And then a little kid with the worst accent in the world comes out and is pissed.
Where's my mama and daddy?
And he's pissed that the guy had his parents killed. And then this swarthy communist guy assures the kid that the state will do so much better for him than his stupid Christian parents could ever do.
Wow.
He says, think of how much better off you'll be. You don't need a mama and a daddy. You have the state and comrades Marx and Lenin.
Yes. Become a foster child during communism. That'll be...
Yep. And then the kid attacks him. And the dude steals his picture of Jesus and tells the kid that if he stomps on the picture of Jesus, they'll let him go. And if they don't, they'll cut his head off. So then he says, Jesus, you were willing to die for me. And because he died for him, the dude cuts the kid's head off and throws it.
Holy fuck.
But before he does that, this is the one time. So all these dudes like are really trying to keep their Russian accent going. This is the one time where the guy drops his Russian accent altogether, and he sounds like. Have you seen Night of the Hunted?
Yeah,
Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter.
No.
So there's a little girl in that who has a very strange accent. She kind of talks like this. And so the guy, he drops his Russian accent and he goes, "You stupid little fool."
Yep.
And then he cuts his head off.
And then he cuts his head off.
A slow-mo shot of the head rolling away, and I cackled like a crazy person.
I literally was like, when he was like, "Oh, well, cut your head off," I was like, ha ha ha. And then I was like, holy shit, are they gonna, oh my God, they're cutting his head is cut off.
Well, they already stuffed bamboo shoots in some kid's ears.
That's true.
The violence committed on children in this movie is alarming.
Insane.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah.
So now back in church, Judy screams. If that were her, she'd go straight to hell. So she stands up and walks up to the casket of her mother, implying that this crazy-ass anti-communist sermon is a part of her funeral?
At a funeral, yeah.
That's cuckoo.
And then he says to her, she could have died easier knowing that you had accepted Jesus as your personal savior. That is the most insanely manipulative thing I've ever heard.
Okay, just like that, Judy was late to her mother's funeral because she was out drinking, dancing, cursing, and fucking.
And on top of that, before she goes in, she has to push her tits up for her mother's funeral.
Of course, you have to. When you go see your mother's fucking casket,
Look,
you got to show her the girls are up.
You're going out in public, the girls should look good, I guess.
Yep. So then the casket fades away, and Pirkle is left standing there, and they kneel at the altar, and she repents for her wickedness, saying that she knows all things are possible through God. So jot that down. And then the congregation sings us out with a sweet auto harp number. And Reverend Pirkle asks you to write him for more information, whispering, and they pull in.
This is where he's staring right down the barrel of the camera.
So tight on his face.
And
he whispers, "Will you come? Will you come? Will you come?" Like over and over. And I'll tell you what, Reverend,
did it at the same volume. He does it. He does it first like, will you come?
And if you keep talking to me like that, no, I'm not going to. I can't get there.
Will you come.
But it does feel a little bit like Estus Pirkle's hitting on me.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I was like, first of all, you are so that close up is so close up. It's ridiculous. And the fact that you are quietly asking me if I'm gonna come, I don't like that. But also, what?
Will you come?
Will you come?
Oh, no. Get away.
So that's the end. That's the end of If Footmen Tire, What Will Horses Do?
Amazing.
What
Will you
a
come?
film.
It is
What a film.
fucking magical. It is just
insane.
I don't feel like we're doing it justice by talking about it, and I feel like
because
we
sounds like you just described a fucking a psychedelic nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like we put the finest point possible on it too.
Yeah,
guys,
totally.
it's nuts. It is just one of the strangest movies I've ever seen, and it's
Yeah.
and
I love it
It
so
is
much.
like 75% of just you looking into the dead eyes of Reverend Estus W. Pickles.
And you're kind of like, is Estus Pirkle's hot?
A little bit. And again, it's just it's the most insane TED Talk you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, he's got
And a
he's
very unconvincing one at that.
Yes, very unconvincing.
Well, listen, if the Footmen Tire You What Will Horses Do did not turn you to the arms of Christ, guys, let me tell you about the burning hell.
Yeah, he's about to turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
We open on a choir of people singing gaily about the rewards of hell in a rock quarry while fires burn around them. These ladies have the worst hair you have ever seen.
Everybody's hair in both these films. They're the hairs. There are some wigs. Did you guys see the wigs?
This is a wigful film.
Yeah.
Do you remember Debbie Harry's hair at the end of Hairspray, where they're trying to sneak a bomb into
where she has a bomb in it.
There's people who have hair just like that in this movie.
1,000%.
My note says, so in hell, everyone has to dress like historic reenactors at a Wild West tourist town in the 60s.
Yeah.
So this is another one that's based on another of his sermons that he would tour around with. And in this one had a lot more to do with like slutty women. The whole thing where he rages about slutty women and miniskirts and how Jane Mansfield was decapitated and Marilyn Monroe was a whore.
Because there's really not much of that in this version of it, because this one's primary his primary beef in this one is all of this sort of like new soft Christianity that is trying to tell you that like, you know, just believe in Jesus and it's fine.
Yeah, this one is literally sinners in the hand of an angry God.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point is like we need to all come back, because he says, watch the Flintstones, do the Watusi, and you'll end up godless and alone. And I say, probably.
I love the Watusi, the wagon wheel Watusi that Cher told me all about.
It is so weird, but there is a moment in this where, so he was super obsessed with doing everything authentically and obsessed with authenticity. And so they use a lot of worms in this. There's a lot of worm imagery. And he insisted they use live maggots, and one of them got lodged in his ear during filming. And I thought, why do you have them in your ears?
You're
Estus
not even
Pirkle?
one of the
They're not even in the movie
that has it on your face. Why do you have one?
It's the Stanislavski method.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's like sympathy pains, you know?
Sure. If my actors are doing it, I'll do it as well.
Also, I love in this one that he brings his bros along with him.
Yeah, he does. There's a lot of cameos in this. Like, this is just like the special appearances.
Let me tell you about a man named R.G. Lee.
Oh boy.
Who delivers a sermon.
Oh, you mean Colonel Sanders from the other side of the mirror?
Alternate universe, Colonel Sanders.
Guys, it's Colonel Sanders in the Upside Down.
Yeah, this man looks like he was alive during the Civil War, and we know exactly which side he was on.
Yeah.
He delivers a sermon about the infernal punishment of hell, which the Bible teaches us all about. And this little rant is all about how modernity encourages to teach the Bible without teaching about hell. Mm-hmm. So we cut to Reverend Pickles wandering Mount
you're going to
Sinai.
skip the part where he says, to take away the blah, 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 and the blah, 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 and to take away the vaccine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He advocates for vaccination.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's rich.
Oh, how the world is turned.
Colonel Sanders is advocating this in 1974.
Mm-hmm. So,
and look at Florida now, baby.
We cut to Reverend Pickles wandering around Mount Sinai, the very mountain.
Now, this is where things really turned for me, where Estus is not doing it for me in this one. He's looking a little bit like a Christian Phil Donahue in a way that I don't care for. I love
agree.
Phil Donahue.
Yeah. So this is the very mountain that Moses climbed to meet God and receive the commandments. He recites.
And this is all actually filmed in Israel.
Yeah, there's a couple of locations.
Are you kidding?
They flew everybody to Israel because he wanted authenticity. This movie, so Tim Ormond's experience of filming this movie was so powerful that he came away and decided he was also going to be a preacher. And I thought, is that because your movies aren't doing so well?
Oh, boy. Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah, he recites from the book of Matthew, which is pretty much the only book of the Gospels that talks about hell. We're going to see in his very serious movie souls being put into the eternal torment of hell, and it's going to be awesome.
And all of this reminds me of, the scene where they do the flashback in Poltergeist 2 and they're all underground. He seals them in.
Yeah.
And Kane's giving his big crazy speech. And I was like, this all seems like this is where they got the idea for this.
Oh, shit. Poltergeist. Tell us.
So we cut to the desert of the Levant. 3 Israelites rebel against Moses during the Exodus. And I ask,
hey, Moses, is it a wig?
My note says, Moses, is it a wig?
Wig, Wiggelina.
He's got a wig, a beard wig, eyebrow wigs.
So many wigs of all sorts.
Wigs upon wigs upon wigs.
Yeah.
And so their beef is, are all men not holy? According to Moses, he's the only one that God speaks through, and everybody better recognize.
I love that also there's a guy in green next to Moses that's kind of like Moses' hype man. Because he's just like shaking his head. Yes, he's like,
You guys hear this guy?
Yeah, he's about to tell.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna tell all these heretics what time it is.
Yep. They demand a demonstration, so Moses calls down thunder and earthquakes, which open up the earth and pull these petulant dudes down into the fire. Mm-hmm. We're back to Pirkle, who scolds these modern preachers who teach that hell is here on earth, which is actually a pretty central belief to Gnostic Christian sects and was a common belief among early Christians. But that woke bullshit won't fly in these wicked times. You got to threaten people to get them to go back to church.
Sure. Also, it's all nonsense, so stop believing any of it.
Of
Cut
course.
to a scene where 2 young dudes are led into Pirkle's house for some fucking reason. These hippies
guys.
They don't know that he's a preacher.
No.
So what the fuck are they doing
What
there?
are they doing there, then? Are they selling something?
Hey, dude, what's up?
Yes,
Talk
they are.
about religion because our preacher says this, and the other guy says that. Whoa! Wait a minute! You're a preacher?
Like maybe they're proselytizing like for their guy,
yeah,
and then
maybe?
they just happen to walk into the absolute fucking worst house in Mississippi.
It's just like these 2 fucking hippie dudes. They roll up and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna talk to you about our New Age beliefs," and Estus Pirkle cannot abide New Age beliefs because he is basically like, that is all not true. God is mean and cruel and terrible and violent, and that is why we love him so.
You bring this heresy, this book of prophecy, into my holy home.
And the one guy is just like, well, in the original Greek translation, and he was like, whoa, you read the non-white version of the Bible?
Yep, they're there to challenge Pirkle's
insistence. Stone the witch!
They're there to challenge Pirkle's insistence that hell is real. They brought some of that nonsense about the original Greek translations, which say nothing about the burning hell of eternal torment. Those fucking idiots.
And he basically says that he's like, look, gentlemen, I don't mean to be rude. And my note says, but my belief system literally requires me to do so.
They haven't even read the Greek New Testament. And then he invites them to go to church with him and hear his sermon on hell. And one of these hippies is real confrontational.
No way, man. Who do you think I am?
If I go to hell, all my friends will be there, he says.
And then Tim, who's now is in the role of, I think his name is
his
Tim.
His name is Tim in the
and he
movie.
says, well, what's the harm of going to the service? And my note is, well, it's definitely going to be really boring.
Wait, so was that little goatee motherfucker, that's
their son.
Oh,
that's Ron and June's son.
Yeah.
because what a look this kid had. I was like, so
Yeah,
wow.
Now, there's always, in all of these movies, well, in a bunch of the Christian movies that they made, there's always at least one scene where a young person is converted because one of their friends is rude.
Well, I genuinely, when I was watching the second one, I was like, oh, we're pretty much following the same exact format as the other movie, in that we're seeing some like little compilation vibes of different things. In the previous one, it's communism, and this is like old timey Jesus stories, but then you have that one like modern day person in your congregation that's like on the shift, like they're on the line of being good Christian and bad Christian.
Yeah, this is Sandy.
This was Sandy Judy, and now there's this kid who is like, well, my one friend says it this way, but it wouldn't hurt if I went to this one.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm sorry he was so rude to you. I guess I'll come to your church service.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So now we cut to church where the Reverend is preaching again. This time, all about hell. The Bible says more people are going to hell than heaven. Every hour, 3,000 people go to hell.
There he goes again.
Get ready. It's going to get a little anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
Here we
it is.
go.
Cut to that jack-off hippie riding his motorcycle like a jerk. His
Yeah,
buddy,
it's the hubris and arrogance. That's what's going to get you killed.
Yep, his buddy Tim isn't having it, so he pulls over. And when he catches up to his jerk buddy, he finds his bike crashed on the side of the road. Dude's head came right off in the crash.
So apparently Estus Pirkle was like obsessed with Jane Mansfield. Like her, and the fact that her head, because there was the rumor that her head, she was decapitated. She was not decapitated, but there's the rumor that she was decapitated in that auto accident, and he was like obsessed with it, and that's why he put it in this.
Is it because she was hanging around with Anton LaVey?
Maybe.
Ooh.
I have no idea, but like he was so obsessed that he was just like, and we got to put this in there. And this scene reminds me of the motorcycle scene, the bus crash from Cemetery Man.
Yeah.
Which is just like an insane bloodbath.
Yep. So instead of calling the cops or an ambulance, he goes to Pirkle's church.
Right. The first thing, his friend dies in a terrible motorcycle accident where his head gets knocked off like the girl in Hereditary. And the first place Tim goes is to the preacher he met 2 hours ago.
Listen, y'all, when you see an accident, the first thing you should do is head to your closest church and tell the pastor there.
And
the one you just met.
Here's how that goes down. Pirkle comes down from the pulpit to tell him that his buddy's head came flying off in the motorcycle crash.
He says
His
mid-speech.
head, his kappa was detated, to quote The Office.
In mid-speech, and Estus Pirkle goes, excuse me for a minute. Like he's gonna go, like someone just rang the doorbell.
Gotta go down and minister to this hippie.
Pardon me.
Instead of getting help, he asks.
But he's basically like, oh no, listen, your friend is definitely going to hell. He liked motorcycles and pussy and rock and roll music. There's no two ways about it.
That's a Texas size 10-4, Tim.
Y'all came to me and were talking to me about another religion. That seat in hell is guaranteed.
Tim, approach the altar here. Let me comfort you a little bit. Your friend is definitely burning in hell right this instant.
He is in a tremendous amount of spiritual and
poker
physical pain
in his ass right now.
And I love Tim Ormond's like beatnik drag that he's in,
so
where he's got like
funny.
this goatee that is
I can't get over the way
so
this guy
bad.
looks. Like his little bowl cut, and he looks so sad, and like you know what he looks like? I can say it because I'm Latina. Throw on a sombrero on
About
him.
to get racist, everybody.
Throw on a sombrero on him, and he looks like the human version of Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh.
Tell me that's not Speedy fucking Gonzalez,
But
dude.
with like a real terrible goatee.
But Speedy Gonzalez has a little mustache and a little.
Oh, that's right, he does.
He has a little thing. So I'm telling you, you put a sombrero on that guy, and he is cast as a live-action Speedy Gonzalez.
Like it honestly, it looks like someone took a Mark marker and drew it onto his face.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I couldn't keep my eyes off of him. He was what a face this guy has.
It's very, very strange because it is so clearly not the way that he would style himself ever.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, this is not, nobody looks good like this. Nobody would look at themselves and be like, yep, that's the way I want to go out in the world today.
His buddy was dressed like Zapp Rousdower before he died. He just had, like denim on denim.
Yeah. Canadian tuxedo, big time.
Yeah. Okay, so then Pirkle goes back to preaching, actually gloating over the dumb bullshit this hippie said to him earlier that day.
Oh, well, there will be no TV or cookouts in hell. It's one of the things he says to us.
Great. So we cut to a dude handing out religious tracts on the street. Tim and another one of his hippie buddies stop to give him a hard time.
Because what Pirkle says is, perhaps you made fun of a Christian. And I thought, well, that sounds very specific.
And lo and behold.
Yep. Pirkle's sermon continues.
I think we all know what this movie is about now.
Yeah.
You jerks won't accept Jesus because of what your friends might say. You don't want them to think that you're not cool and all that. So now we cut to a shot of hell as the king of Babylon is being delivered into hell by a demon with a sweet black metal corpse paint on. He has no idea what's happening.
Hell looks an awful lot like a weird kind of appropriated kabuki performance.
Yes, totally.
But with the soundtrack from Chinatown.
He has no idea what's happening as people scream and fires burn. Everyone is on fire. It's pretty rad, actually. The king is like,
I was nervous for these actors because I was like, I can't tell where these flames are
authenticity
are placed. I know, exactly. I'm like, the way they're placed around them, I was like, are they that near to those flames? Because you're on fire, bro.
In the scene with Moses, when like all the guys around Moses go to hell, like you see people like sliding down hills, like perilously close to like burning braziers and
shit.
Beautiful.
That can't be good.
This is the risk you take for the craft.
Oh my God, for Jesus Christ, our Lord.
I know. The king is like, oh shit, I should have accepted Jesus. He sees his bro, Nizrak, on the ground, but he's too miserable to say much. There's a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth as everybody tears each other apart.
Yeah, there's a lot of also like, oh no, I'm in hell and it's that other guy's fault.
Yep.
Sure.
There's a lot of this, like, let's not take responsibility for the things that we say and do.
Cut to Ken, the jerky motorcycle hippie. He wakes up, head intact, to find a demon waiting for him. They bring him down to hell. So now Pirkle then passes the mic to another preacher who says that he wouldn't bother preaching if there was no hell. He then tells a story about the time the Lord will bring everybody up out of hell, show them heaven, and then cast them back down to hell.
Oh my God!
It's all very strange that they're like, hey, we're just going to drop these other dudes into this movie for a minute just to shake it up.
I know. Oh, that scene, you know what that reminded me of was in at the end of A Day of Judgment when the Grim Reaper is bringing all the people into the afterlife and he brings them up to like he shows them heaven and he's like, this looks cool. You like a place you want to be? Like you'd like to go to hell? Suckers.
And then he opens the trap door.
I was about to say trap door. I was like, this is feeling like Sweeney Todd. He's just going to be like, and yoink, and deep into hell they go.
This version of Christianity does not sound fun at all.
Absolutely not.
No, it explains why a lot of conservative, like right-wing people are so fucking angry and miserable all the time because they are constantly dancing on like a fucking tightrope of just eternal damnation. And everybody around them is just like, you guys are fucking stupid. What are you doing?
Exactly. Living your life on this threat of like, you're even in afterlife, you're not going to find joy. Like, you're going to suffer when you're alive. You're suffering when you're dead.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Then what the fuck is the fucking point then? I'd blow my goddamn brains out. Not to fucking be that person, but...
So now we cut to Tim in another church where the preacher is also yelling about hell.
And Tim looks bored out of his fucking mind.
I was like, is this guy high? He looked kind of stony baloney to me.
He really does.
Yeah.
He looks like I think he's trying to give you hippie, but he doesn't really know any hippies.
It's giving hippie.
But it's also like giving psychopath.
Yeah.
But what I love is there's a woman next to him who just keeps giving him this insane side eye. I have to be like,
Yeah. All this talk about everlasting torment is giving him a real bum trip, you dig? He's his regular preacher.
He looks like he's coming down from like a 2-day high during which someone drew a silly beard on his face. They also drew some balls on his chin, but he was able to wash them off.
Exactly.
Yeah, he passed out first. His regular preacher has a much softer message about how we're all children and God will receive the everlasting treasure. But his mom's like, no, you idiot. Your guy is wrong and stupid. This is the only way. Yeah. So now we get more sweet shots of people in hell. They're wailing about how awful it is to be in hell. It's so hot and they're so miserable in hell.
One of them is like, oh, my soul, it's doomed.
Yeah. I also love that so many of them are just like, obviously they're all from Tennessee, and they're like, it's me, the king of Babylon. And
I'm King Herod, y'all.
Exactly. There's one guy that sounds like fucking Walter Cronkite, where he's like, and tonight we're going to go and talk to Jesus Christ. And I was like, you're meant to be, I don't know, Pontius Pilate or something, dude. Calm down.
Pirkle talks about all the versions of hell in the Bible. A version where
what he says is he's like, the Bible is not parable. And I wrote, actually, Estus, the Bible is literally nothing but parables.
Full of parables.
Yep. That's where the word comes from.
Yep. There's the hell where it's all worms and you're covered in worms and the worms are also on the ground. It's just worms all the way down. That's
right. It says where the worm does not dieth not. And I said, Estus Pirkle's ear is also where the worm dieth not.
Is where it lives and keeps digging. And also those worms are obviously larvae, and it's like,
they're maggots.
Come on.
They're actual maggots.
Can you imagine what it would be like to have worms eating your skin? And I say, no, don't worry. Here's some shots of people with maggots on their face.
Yeah, poor guys.
This is like when they made Night of the Living Dead, like all the people had to eat like raw meat.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Cut to a scene of King Herod having a heart attack in front of his people.
Worms
erupt from his body and eat the corpse.
Oh my goodness.
So now Pirkle then tells
and there's so much cheap silk on these southern white Israelis.
1,000%.
Tells the story of Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man is out to impress everyone. He presents it to all his friends like, aren't you impressed? Isn't this awesome? Some of Jesus' disciples have a sermon out by his house. Two ladies.
This is also where we open on I think this is where we see the chorus from the last movie.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah.
The woman with the harpsichord.
Yeah. Two ladies sing. One of them can't play the auto harp. The rich man is like, what the fuck is that noise?
Yeah, he literally goes, what's that terrible noise? And I was like, shady, girl. That is real shady.
Somebody's playing a harpsichord over there and I can't hear myself think.
He's like, now I'm going to pass the mic to my good friend Nathaniel.
Rich man goes out to heckle them and tell them that Jesus ain't shit. Nathaniel gives him a sermon about how awesome Jesus is, actually. And then the rich man is like, thanks, but no thanks, and pieces out. He'll probably regret that later.
He's literally a guy who's like, I'm just going to come over and interrupt you to talk about how Jesus is.
Serious.
So the rich man and his entourage get ready to watch a gladiator fight when he runs into Lazarus, the beggar, who asks for some help, but the rich guy is like, get a job, and then fucks off to the blood sport.
Mm-hmm.
When they come back, Lazarus is still on the street begging. He talks about Jesus, and the rich man is like, this guy again? The fuck is with this guy?
He says, I don't want some carpenter's son telling me what to do with my life. And you know what? Same.
Honestly, true. He's going to try and tell me what to do with my oaks and my teaks. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't need your opinion, carpenter's son.
Yeah.
Son.
Lazarus tells him that his body may be broken, but his soul is saved. And when he dies, it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
So all the rich guy wanted was more riches. He throws a big Epstein party with his friends like King Herod and Pontius Pilate.
And King
Prince
Herod,
Andrew. Sorry.
King Herod is wearing a big old beard wig. But also,
yes.
Why is King Herod played by a 15-year-old?
Seriously.
The rich man conspires with a Jewish priest to get rid of this Jesus character.
So this is where, throughout both of these movies, and I imagine this probably used to happen a lot more than it would now, where they're so like, we love the Bible, we love blah, 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 Jesus and God and all this, but they can't, because these words are so unfamiliar, a lot of these words are so unfamiliar to them, they don't know how to pronounce them.
Yeah.
Even now. So he's like, I'll tell you this, Caiaphas. And he keeps talking about Caiaphas. The name is Caiaphas. Caiaphas.
So now, some of the rich man's bros come in to tell him that Lazarus died, and they're dragging his corpse away. Lazarus is greeted by angels who deliver his soul to the kingdom. He rises from his broken body, renewed and young, and he ascends to the sky where he is seated at the right hand of the Father.
I do like that when Lazarus finally dies, they're all like, oh, thank God. Lazarus was a real boner killer, wasn't he?
God, if I had to hear him talk one more time of that guy, Jesus Christ, I was going to go ahead and throw myself into the river.
Oh, and then he goes right back to his hose.
Yep, back at the party, things are really heating up. The rich man toasts the king and then falls down dead. Too much partying.
Hey.
Yep. The Jewish priest is like, this dude was too busy partying to attend the temple, but his many gifts to the temple were really appreciated. Therefore, this guy is definitely in heaven.
This party, is this such a swing-in party where even there's like a 12-year-old drinking wine?
Right. Definitely
Which
in heaven.
is weird since we learned that the water is so delicious.
I know. Guess what? He's not in heaven.
No!
We watch
That's what merriment gets you.
Yep, we watch the rich man burn, totally regretting his shitty life on earth. God literally heckles him from heaven and tells him that all his Jewish buddies are going to hell too. It's a little fucked up.
The character's name is Diabetes.
I kept thinking he was saying
but
diabetes.
I kept hearing Mr. Diabetes.
Diabetes from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then the rich guy's brothers show up in hell and kick his ass.
What is going on here in this?
This one makes less sense than the other one.
Cool.
Yep. So, hey, guys, you think he regrets his decision?
No.
1,000 years later, we check in on the rich man, and he's still regretting his shit decisions.
Wow.
Haunted by the words of Lazarus, who had it all right.
But he has this kind of like, oh, how'd this happen to old Diabetes? Oh, come on, not again.
I swear I've been doing all the right things. Yeah. I may have been rich back in my day, but
sex party. He had a big sex. He basically is Epstein.
Yeah. If you haven't figured it out yet, hell sucks. Pirkle presents a chart with a number with 300 zeros on it, which tells you that this is how long you'll be in hell.
And he cuts to the crowd, and they all are dead-eyed again.
They're like,
well, it's because he's doing math.
Yeah. Crazy math. Where he's like, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 30 years. And it's just all the zeros.
And he just keeps going.
So wild. Again, the statistics. Who told him, listen, Pickles, we need... Everything you're doing is great. Your sermon work, you're up there, your personality, you shine.
But we need charts. Charts are what
numbers,
you need.
baby. The people will not be satisfied with Christianity unless there are numbers.
Oh yeah, it's like he got a visit from Glenn Beck.
Oh.
So we cut to another one of Pirkle's buddies who also agrees that it's all fire and burning and not that hell is earth shit that modern churches are supposedly teaching.
This is Dr. Bob Gray, who is I'm going to assume a
sex criminal?
Christian.
Yes.
I can presume that.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he is a Christian preacher, but he's wearing a yarmulke.
For Jesus?
Okay. Oh, maybe. Or I don't know. Maybe he's just he's just fresh in from synagogue.
He was like, how can I convince them that I know more than these other guys?
Yeah.
Put a yarmulke on.
Yarmulke.
Pirkle turns his attention on Tim, who's thinking about his buddy Ken as he burns. And then we get some more psychedelic shots of people falling forever and ever through hell. We get a shot of some pretty sweet demon that has the body of a goat, lion's teeth.
He's a horse locust.
A woman's hair, and they have scorpion tails, which is metal as fuck.
And
these are the scorpion horse locusts.
That scorpion tail was beating the shit out of some lady. She just like, whoop-a, whip. and that lady is just getting fucking smacked around by the scorpion tail.
My soul is doomed.
He describes them as coming to Earth for 5 months out of the year, just like people who go to like Florida for the winter.
Totally.
We witnessed Cain killing his brother Abel. Cain
Cain, listen, Abel's ass is shockingly sweaty and wet in the scene.
Totally.
Why didn't they do something about it?
My God.
He stands up, he gets up off a log and turns around. He's this giant wet spot, like he pissed himself.
Oh, right! I know that's holy shit.
He fell in the sandbox that was full of water.
It's so weird.
It's so funny that nobody
And they
was
just
like,
leave
"Oh,
it.
dude, we shouldn't have put you in a gray loincloth.
That's
Let's put you in
burlap. It's
black
so
or
hard
something."
to sweat through burlap.
Yeah, but he stood up and it was like, "Oh, honey, that's
shit.
not good." That's my biggest fear on the subway is that I'm gonna stand up and leave a fucking sweat stain on the seat. And so whenever I get up from the subway, I scoot my ass on the seat so I can wipe down
There you go.
anything that's behind.
I have ridden the Orange Line in Boston a not insignificant number of times, and on every train there is at least one seat that is just a puddle of a liquid that nobody
Always.
dare smell.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, on a fucking weekday mornings, 8 o'clock, someone will sit in that just to sit down.
Yes, because aren't paying attention.
I don't want to stand.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Boy. Also, Cain definitely in hell. The place is just lousy with murderers.
Yeah.
Tim then imagines himself in hell, where he meets the devil, who has crazy face paint on.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
what
he
the
does.
Fuck? That I was like, this part freaked me out. Like genuinely, I was like, oh, I don't know why this devil is giving me the heebs. Like it was very geometric.
It's very
shapes
geometrical,
on
yeah.
his face. I was like, I don't get.
But
this,
he's
and
also
it's weird.
real chill for the
Yeah.
devil. He's just like,
He's like,
oh,
"Hey."
hey,
What's up?
how's it going?
Yeah. Yep. Also,
You want to hang?
the dude who chopped off the head of John the Baptist is there,
Oh,
and
right.
he kills Tim over and over while the devil laughs like a jackass.
This is another one where he goes, and he cut off the John the Baptist head and he gave it to Salome.
To
Salome!
King Herod, and Salome.
Salome. And Tim is shouting, he's still alive. He's still alive.
Back in the church, Tim realizes.
Estus Pirkle is a real effective storyteller.
Yeah,
He's really
yeah.
getting to them.
Back in the church, Tim realizes that it was all a dream, and he calls out to Jesus for help.
It was all a dream.
Used to read Word Up magazine. Pirkle is
you
just
go.
so pleased that he scared the shit out of this kid. He
And
invites.
Tim's face is so moist.
Very
Oh.
moisturized.
He's like Cain or Abel's ass.
Yeah.
He invites Tim up to pray with him, and they do shit like they did in the last movie. A hippie no more. He is saved. Pirkle then explains that it shouldn't matter that he just scared you into turning to Jesus. In
Because
1940,
when he says to him, he goes, preacher, I couldn't come after a message like that. Same girl.
Same girl.
will you come? Will you
Uh,
come?
horrible. Also, I just want to say Tim's eyelashes are gorgina because we see same with Judy. She was crying her ass off, like trying to be saved, performing a Lifetime, and then here comes Tim, and he's a little bit more demure with his performance, a little more reserved, and he's looking down, and his eyelashes are so full, so long, but these tears, he is crying tears. Tim is giving it to you.
Yeah, he brought it.
Yep. See, as far as Pirkle's concerned, in 1940, I was scared to go to hell, and so I turned to Jesus, and so you can too.
Easy as that.
And we fade to black on that shit.
Well, that was insane.
Listen, in 1940, I was scared, and then I turned to Jesus, and guys, I'm okay now.
And now I just say the craziest shit all day, every day.
To anyone who will listen.
What a fucking nightmare this movie is.
Insane.
And it's hilarious just on its face as a thing, but when you consider that this is basically just a version of what we hear now today from like politicians is absolutely insane.
At any time you could hear Marjorie Taylor Greene saying something crazy
and
like this.
This was all like real fringe shit. Like this is not mainstream Christianity at the time. It's not mainstream Christianity.
No, this stuff was very
either.
unique to the South. It was a particular kind of like
this
old time
is evangelical
religion.
Southern Baptist belief systems. Like this is very fire and brimstone. It's very like heaven and hell, but it's very strong. It's very violent and evocative. And that's the whole point. It's made to frighten you. But it was a fringe sect of that religion. Whereas now, these are just regular Christians saying this insane shit like in Congress.
Oh yeah, man. You can float a real popular podcast off the back of this shit.
1,000%. It also reminded me a lot of an ex what's her name? Maxine's dad.
Oh, her father,
Her dad being very like Christian, like, I will not live my life, whatever. It was, and I was like, that's really...
it's very like, it's designed to scare you into, I guess, being
good,
more godly.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you live this way, this must be exhausting. To live in this much fear.
You're constantly walking on eggshells of your own life. That's a nightmare, dude. No way.
No thanks. At least it's fun to watch.
Hey, at least you're just like the shock value of it. You're just like, wow, other people believe this.
But you can see the diminishing returns you get from Estus Pirkle. Like the first one, out of the gate, this is Rolling Stones, like late 60s Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to Burning Hell, you're kind of hot rock stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, there's some good ones here, but...
Yeah. And then The Believer's Heaven is just a fucking dud completely.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So, Aileen, I'm real sorry.
I'm not.
Listen.
I think we all had a great time.
I think we did too.
As somebody who finds certain parts of Mass a little bit comforting, mostly songs, just because I like the song part of it, and also the part where you like repeat what people say, just because like I love a call and repeat.
So I got one for you. Will you come?
If I'm at church and my priest says that, I will absolutely get up, turn around, and walk right out of.
You'll say, "Excuse me, I have to go."
I simply cannot sit here. I have to come.
You have to leave and then go and commit as much sin as possible.
Oh, 1,000%. So, but there was, I'm going to say 0.5% of me that was like, yes, a man yelling things at me from an altar. I remember this.
There is something about these that is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Because as much as they are batshit crazy, Estus Pirkle is weirdly compelling. The format is so choppy and jumpy and breakneck that you're kind of like, I don't know where I'm at, but I'm still watching.
Yeah. They're trying to balance a way to sort of make this a more than just a guy talking to a camera. They're trying to make a narrative out of it, and it doesn't really come off, but it doesn't fucking matter, because when they do turn it into a narrative, it's nuts. It's just a series of vignettes that just get progressively more insane all the way to the end.
Absolutely.
I think if we three tried to watch just a regular Christian movie right now, not a horror, like just a regular drama, Christian drama, we'd all be bored out of our minds.
Yeah.
And I think the reason this works is because it's made by exploitation filmmakers who know how to make anything.
Right. I think that's why we responded to A Day of Judgment the same that we did. Also, listeners, if you have not listened to us, we guested on God Awful Movies a couple of weeks ago, and we did a movie called A Day of Judgment that is pretty close to an Ormond movie.
Okay.
It's similarly choppy and weird and like these just strange vignettes where everybody is just doing the worst shit you can imagine.
Yeah. It's cartoonish.
Their worldview is insane.
In the same way, though it's not quite as vicious and intense.
Sure. It's also clearly fictional. Like it's not a documentary, but it is just his regular sermon, and half of the movie is him giving you the sermon.
Yeah. Listen.
And it's just, there's something weirdly compelling about it where it is hilarious and strange. I recommend, if you're not opposed to doing drugs, get a little high, watch these movies, They're fucking hilarious.
As somebody who did that yesterday, also highly rec. Be prepared to just kind of sit there and be like, what? For like a lot of it, but fun times all along.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that said, Aileen, thank you so much for coming by. It's always a good time when you drop in.
Thank you so much for having me. I love hanging out with you boys every single time. Please have me on again. I promise Johnny will be done with his crazy show. He's in a very intense show right now in DC called The Inheritance, which has 2 parts a la Angels in America. So it's very intense, and he's a busy bee, but hopefully soon we can, all 4 of us, be together once again.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. So tell them where you're at. What you up to? What are you doing?
Yeah. I host or co-host a podcast with my sweet best friend Jonathan Atkinson called Uy Que Horror. We're at Uy Que Horror on all social media platforms. UYQUEHORROR. Uy Que Horror. We just finished our summer shorts series where we spent the whole entire summer watching Latin American horror shorts, and we have a really great little compilation for the summer, so check those episodes out. Our new episodes come out every Monday. Our next episode comes out September 22nd, first day of fall. So we're entering the spooky season once again. Yeah, and you can follow me at Aileen Lil Hands, Aileen AILEEN, Lil LIL Hands HANDZ. That's it.
All right. Well, with this in the bag, Dave, where are we going next?
Well, we are going to be back. Bring Me the Axe is going to be back on Monday. We are going to be celebrating Latin American Heritage Month with the endlessly delightful Vacation in Terror 2. And I'll tell you what, it occurred to me.
Oh, my God.
We are in a time right now where a lot of people might not feel comfortable celebrating their Latino-ness.
Oh, sure.
And so I think it is probably now better than ever that the whitest people you know are going to speak up and celebrate it on everyone's behalf, I guess.
And we're going to introduce you. We're going to introduce you to Tatiana.
Tatiana.
And then in 2 weeks, 99-cent Rental will be back with a look at the absolutely mind-melting early 90s sci-fi movie Steel and Lace.
Oh fuck. I forgot that we were doing that one. I cannot wait.
Wild.
Yep.
Fun.
All right. Aileen, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I love it so much. Thank you for showing me the way. I am part of the Lord now, and I am so excited to be welcomed into his arms when I step through the golden gates.
It's basically just the same as hell, though, I think.
Yeah, probably.
That's
most
the
likely.
takeaway.
So be back here in a week as we take in Vacaciones de Terror 2. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to blow your fucking mind with Steel and Lace.
This could be the most important decision of your lifetime. Will you come?